What's up, Gorehounds, and welcome to the Gun Show. Nope, that's wrong. Welcome to the Gore More Podcast. I am your not so mean Fluff Master Supreme, Big Johnny D, bringing this shit show in. However, I don't bring this shit show in alone. For with me, as always, are my you know what? It doesn't feel right. Let's see what we're gonna do. My bodacious beefcake brethren.
Oh,
yeah. Started off with the Dark Lord, that Chad Daddy, Mr. Chad Chrisman.
What's up, bitches?
Yeah, that meat mountain, that killing machine, Mr. Bobby Amone.
Get the pump. Fuck off.
It's just like the coming. You come, then you
Wait,
pump more.
You pump and pump until you release.
That's right. If nobody's ever seen
I'm
that,
not talking about the gym.
You owe yourself. And the Duke of the Dead, the host with the ghost, Lord Scuba Cabra, the Dean of the Deceased. I believe I got that. Maybe, yes.
You got it. We should write these down.
No, I want to see.
Isn't there another one that was last week or something?
That was Dean of the Deceased. Yeah.
Oh,
Mr. Steve Vasquez.
I don't have guns to show off. I just got little pistols. So pew pew, bang bang.
Yeah. It's all right. I bet Mel would disagree.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Well, you know,
he's got a cannon.
Yeah, that's right. All right. Today is May 29th, 2023. That's right. It is Memorial Day.
Happy Memorial Day.
Yes. So, and we have, a very interesting episode today, which I'm sure we're going to discuss quite in depth because, there's just a lot of shit to talk about. And that movie is going to be 1982's The Entity. But first and foremost, we're going to talk about what the fuck we did in this past weekend, which is probably, if I was a betting man, close to about the same fucking thing, even though none of us are near each other. But Mr. Vasquez, if you could please.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for your Slice of Life.
Yeah.
Damn, thank you, Steve.
That pitch was deep in my scrotum.
Fucking A. Wow.
Baby.
Just all the way to base.
Yeah.
Chad Daddy.
Yo.
How you been, homie?
Not bad, and been enjoying this past week of beautiful weather here. I don't think it rained a single drop, so that's going to be bad in the long term. But for the short term, it's nice and sunny and warm out. Let's see what else. What did I do? Did I mention? I don't remember. I did get my lawnmower fixed and got my yard mowed. That was fun. I had to tear the whole goddamn carburetor apart and do a deep clean. So now I know how to do that if I have to do it again. Did I watch
Jets, baby?
I didn't watch any movies, but I was tooling around last night with the TV in the bedroom. Now, ever since I bought that, I had this problem with like motion blur, image ghosting, like especially in the dark scenes where like you see it and then there's like a trail of a shadow going with it. I finally figured out what the hell's going on last night. After having this for years, I was sitting there tooling around with the settings, and it turns out that the noise reduction on the image noise reduction was set too high. So I turned it off completely, and now it's a gorgeous crystal clear picture.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So got that done. What else did I do? Just been playing this game called Stranded Deep, which I'm about ready to finally beat.
Which one is it? What is it?
Stranded Deep. It starts out at the beginning. You're on a plane and it crashes, and you just basically try to survive.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Yep. Okay.
That is a fucking hard game.
It looks scary.
Not really. Not as bad as you think.
No.
Not
the ocean stuff. I thought the ocean stuff would give you a lot more like fighting for shit, but maybe not.
Not really. Not as much as I was expecting, but it's still cool because it's just surviving at the beginning is really hard until you finally get a pattern down. You finally figured out where all the good islands are, what you need to make to survive, and like you set up camps on each island. But the main bosses, the first boss, which I actually beat I went, medium boss, then easy boss, and I still got to beat the hard boss. So the easy boss is a megalodon.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
It's like the size of a normal great white shark. I don't know why the hell they called it a megalodon. The second one is a giant moray eel, and the third one is a giant squid. So I got to fight the squid. Then I get the last part. You find this plane on a abandoned aircraft carrier. You fix it. You take off.
Oh, nice.
So I've been playing that, and let's see, what else did I do? So yesterday, didn't do anything. Saturday we had a cookout at the in-laws, but not like a traditional cookout. Like they had my father-in-law. We got him for Christmas a Blackstone pizza oven.
Fuck yeah!
Oh,
So we
nice.
had pizzas cooked on that. Some family stopped in. We had a good time. Then today we went to my wife's grandmother's for a cookout and had a nice little water balloon fight with the kids.
Nice.
The kids, they kind of shied away from it just because, and I don't know why they're like this now, but the water balloons today are harder than hell to get to break.
Yeah, they are.
Like they are. I don't know.
It's
if you
because
remember.
we were bitching so much as a kid because you couldn't ever fucking fill them up because you popped 20 of them before you filled 10.
But they
This
were
is
so,
true.
but they broke so much better then. Now you have to practically smack somebody, give them a concussion to get these goddamn things to break. So the kids didn't want it, so we're screw it. The adults got in on it.
I mean, not gonna lie, dude, and maybe it's just because of the time I grew up in, but I'm all for that.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you gotta whip them. You're just knocking down the kid. Well, the other thing is, dude, you got to fill them up a lot too. A lot of people don't fill them up near as much, so they won't burst. You got to get to that, like,
the thing about it is we get the ones where it fills like 25 at a time.
Oh,
and
the straw style?
Yeah,
those are
but,
nice, dude.
But it does not fill them up enough to do that.
It doesn't. No.
But it saves a lot of time.
Fuck yes, it does.
They're nice. So we did that. Like I said, I haven't watched any new interesting movies lately. It's been kind of quiet. So, Bobby, what's new with you, buddy?
Not much. What did I do this? This is my last weekend that I worked. Excuse me. My second job for the month. So now I'm back to a normal schedule. I got my weekends back. I'll be able to do things now.
There you go.
Yesterday was come home. I got off work. I cut the lawn, got a few things done. I sat outside, had myself a nice cigar. Me and my mother had breakfast for dinner. That was it.
Yeah,
and
good old Brenner.
Today, got up, went to the gym. I got a few things done around the house. I was at a friend's house for a couple hours at a little barbecue and all that fun stuff. And I got to watch this interesting, effective movie. I will say that to start because it is. But that was about it. Last week was just a week that I wanted to get through. I'm happy I got through it because fuck last week. But that's where I'm at now. And now I could start getting cosplays in order. This month I did not do any shoots because I just did not have the time. But hey, when you're working 7 days a week, man, I come home from work, I'm over here like this.
I hear you, bro. I do that 5 days a week.
Bobby, what do you want to do? I want to play with the dots on the wall. There are no dots. Yeah, they are right there.
It's Zombie.
Hug this goddamn pillow and take a nap.
That too. I started doing a little research on getting Jack Slater stuff together. So I got to start getting try and figure out where I can find boots and shit. It's going to be expensive because they're snakeskin boots and can't exactly get those cheap. Even a cheap pair is not cheap. So that's going to be my.
Can you get fake ones that look close enough to the real thing?
Yeah, but I still got to get the right size for my foot.
That's not going to. That's
true.
The expensive part.
That's where it's like.
Yo, I'm brain farting here. Jack Slater. Is that Last Action Hero?
Last Action Hero.
Yes,
sir.
Well,
So-
I wasn't sure, but I was like, I haven't heard that name in a minute, dude.
I want to have it for August Mania. I want to have it for then. I could get the shirt and the pants in 10 seconds and in a little plastic airsoft Desert Eagle that looks real enough. The jacket and the boots are where I got to be like, okay, do I have to go to a boot maker and be like, hi, this foot is huge.
Well, let's see here.
I need help.
Jack Slater boots.
Yeah, they're snakeskin cowboy boots. So I got to start getting that together. I want to get a few other things going. So now that I got my time, that's what I'm going to do.
Bro, they sell these right around at the Western store from my house, man.
But now I need to know, do they have my size?
That's the question.
Bigfoot? I don't know.
Exactly. But so that's what I'm going to be up to now. But that's about enough for me. How about you, Steve?
Well, let's see. What did I do this weekend? I hung out with my mom. My mom came down this weekend and just had a little bit of family time. Mel had to work, so we hung out with Charlie, and it was good seeing my mom. She lives 7 hours away, so she decided to come down. What's up to my all content entertainment buddies there in the chat, Jeremy and Mondo? What's going on, fellas?
What's up, boys?
What's up, Source?
But
And Rich?
speaking of all content entertainment, I know I told you guys I was joining this, semi wrestling organization that does wrestling skits.
That's right.
Well, I was just crowned the all content heavyweight champion. So
Ooh.
this is my belt right here.
A YouTube belt.
Nice.
YouTube, Facebook. It's got all the social medias on there. So I just want to take this little time right here to address
I love it.
this punk ass bitch named CJ Quintanilla, aka CJ Renegade, who used to be the former champion, but he dropped his belt because his bitch of a girlfriend quit our organization, right? So she quit, so he tucked his tail and fucking ran, and now he's running his mouth all over social media talking about how he's undisputed and blah blah blah. Motherfuckers never defended his fucking little piece of shit paper thin title that he has. So CJ, this is me calling your bitch ass out. When you see this, because I know you will see this, stop running your mouth on social media and fucking bring it on. Me and you, one-on-one, title for title. You fucking little pathetic ass paper champ bitch.
Ooh.
Johnny, what do you got?
Man, I'm sad that I'm not there with you with a microphone so I can just keep asking you
That was
questions.
right.
That
was not a promo. That was legit. I'm calling that bitch
That was
out.
a good shoot.
I would love to be a promoter.
Right? And back to you, Jerry. All right. What the fuck did I do?
Would
this
somebody
weekend?
stop the damn match? Sorry.
Well,
He's
all right.
been broken in half.
No, let's see. I threw a nice little barbecue on Saturday for some family and some friends. Opened the pool a couple weeks ago, so obviously, it's always the first like big pool party of the year. Way too much food as of always, which is not a problem.
Brody.
It is. What's up, sirs? Brody, Rich, and everybody else. I smoked some fucking stuffed shotgun cells for the first time, dude, and I thought they came out pretty well. I'm gonna try a few different recipes, but if you don't know what they are, it's just pretty much you just take any kind of meat. So I had venison sausage. You shove it, you mix it together with a bunch of cheese. You could also do cream cheese as well, but I just did pepper jack and Monterey. And you shove that bitch in a fucking manicotti shell and then wrap her in bacon.
Ooh.
Slather her in sauce and smoke her for about 2 hours. And yeah, they're pretty fucking good, dude.
Pretty fucking good.
Do you guys on your side of the country, do y'all do jalapeno poppers?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I also just found out about these things that are pretty much jalapeno poppers on steroids, and they're called, armadillo eggs.
Armadillo eggs, yeah, buddy.
All right, yeah. So they're literally a jalapeno popper
From Texas, come on.
wrapped in sausage and then wrapped in bacon.
Yeah.
And then it literally looks like a meat wad. Like that's literally all it fucking is. I might make those next.
Do it.
I kind of want to make a taco shotgun shell though, like a taco style. I think it would be really good. This one was good, but it was also the first time, so like I learned some things. I didn't prep it as long as I needed to in the fridge to let all the noodles get as soft as they needed to, but still mighty tasty. Way too much fucking food, and desserts out the ass. Everybody had a good fucking time, and then Sunday didn't do shit, dude. Just lazy day, chilled in the pool. I tried because the pool's open and I'm trying to you want to fucking use it, dude. You're paying for it, right? So you man up, even though it's only 72 fucking degrees. So I'm just sitting in there and I'm like, yeah, I could deal with this. 30 minutes later, I'm like, my arms are fucking numb, dude. I'm getting out. And then today we went to the Memorial Day parade down in Auburn, which is always a good time. Kids fucking got a bunch of candy. And then we have this event that just came back called the Duck Derby. We were going to go down to it, but dude, it was so fucking busy. I was like, yeah, I'm not fighting all those people. So no, but glad to see it back. All it is literally you can bet on a duck, and they release thousands of rubber ducks down the fucking center outlet downtown, and it's a race, and whoever wins like the first couple like 10 spots wins like a fuck ton of money and shit like that.
Nice.
It's a cool event that's gone down for like 50 fucking years in this little city. So, but that's about it, man. And then I did re-beat MK11 this morning, and I forgot how fucking fantastic that goddamn ending was, and I can't wait to be Aftermath again. Yeah, dude, it was and then my daughter came down right at the end, and she's like, "What's going on?" Which I was like, usually I'd be like, but this was like, well, let me tell you a little fucking this. It's cool though. I always like those like father-daughter nerd education moments, dude.
Oh yeah, it's
Like
great.
my wife will straight up call us out, dude, when my daughter and I will get into a full Dragon Ball conversation, dude, and we're just like nonstop. And my wife's just like, I love how you guys are arguing on like what is going on in the series. And I'm like, well, I was like, because, and the sad part is she's watched Super way more than I have because she's watched it on repeat like 8 fucking times as a kid. I don't have that kind of time.
Right.
So it's like she actually does know some shit where I'm like, oh yeah, that did happen. I'm like, fuck.
I saw this really cool fucking animation, and I guess they just took the cartoon and swapped Vegeta out for Goku in the scene where Goku was powering up before he fought fucking Majin Buu and was going through the different stages of Super Saiyan.
Okay.
It was so much fucking cooler with Vegeta. I mean, it was cool with Goku, but watching it with Vegeta, and it just made it more believable because that's how cocky Vegeta would be, as opposed to Goku being that cocky just to stall time, because that's essentially what Goku was fucking doing.
Yo, man, Vegeta made Super Saiyan Fire again in the Broly movie.
Yeah.
That scene was just like, oh, fuck yeah, dude. I don't care how many times I've seen Super Saiyan 1 go. Like, that was just like a fuck yeah scene.
The best scene in that was have fun, Frieza.
Yeah, right. Yo, actually, as a Vegeta fan, have you seen that one fan film where it's like a crazy art style, but like Vegeta comes to like OG Dragon Ball tournament because Broly shows up?
Oh,
bro, I will show you that after the show.
Oh yeah, you got to show me that.
You need a new pair of underwear after that. It's fantastic. I'll watch it with you, dude.
Fuck yeah.
All right. So other than that, yeah, lots of fucking eating meat and shoving that all in my mouth this weekend. It was a good fucking time. But now I'm ready to talk about this fucking movie and how it made me feel very uncomfortable. And that is 1982's The Entity. Steve, this is your fucking pick. You take it away, homie.
All right. Released September 30th, 1982. I was only a couple months old when this movie came out. As if struggling to make ends meet and trying to get her life back on track wasn't enough, Carla Moran, a hardworking single mother of 3, finds herself with the back to the wall when faced with an inexplicable supernatural incident. Now, Carla is having a hard time telling the difference between fact and fantasy, unable to find logical explanations. For instance, how on earth has the unseen assailant managed to break into her secured, locked up home? Nevertheless, the painful bruises in hard-to-reach parts of Carla's body don't lie. And as all attempts with psychotherapy failed, and the late-night paranormal attacks become increasingly violent, desperate Carla has no other choice but to turn to a team of parapsychologists who offer, at least, hope for a resolution. However, is there an escape from abstract evil? Above all, can Carla beat The Entity?
Nice.
Directed by Sidney J. Fury, Iron Eagle, Superman 4, The Quest for Peace.
Written
by
I'm
Frank
Superman 4,
DeFelita.
Quest for Peace.
Oh shit.
the stately ghost of England, Killer in the Mirror. Produced by Harold Schneider, War Games, Someone to Watch Over Me. Bobby, let's get that cast.
Starring Barbara Hershey, Beaches, Insidious as Carla Moran. Ron Silver, Time Cop, Blue Steel as Dr. Phil Snyderman. David Labiosa, there we go, I got it. Bulletproof, Mega Piranha. Mega Piranha? There's a
Mega Piranha?
There's a Mega
That's
Piranha.
what I mean.
That is
my.
one of those sci-fi asylum films, I think.
Gotta be, dude.
that I had to stop when I read that. I'm like, Mega Piranha?
I'd watch it.
I would too. As Billy Moran. George Coe, The Mighty Ducks, Transformers, Dark of the Moon as Dr. Weber. Margaret Bly, The Italian Job, Ginger Deadman as Cindy Nash, Jacqueline Jacqueline Brooks, Ghost Story, Naked Gun 2.5, The Smell of Fear as Dr. Elizabeth Cooley, Michael Aldridge, Scarface, Iron Eagle as George Nash, Alex Rocco, The Godfather, Return to Horror High as Jerry Anderson, Alan Rich, Disclosure, Highlander 2, The Quickening as Dr. Walcott, and Richard Brestoff, The Man with Two Brains, Return to Horror High as Gene Craft, and there is no body count for this film as there are no deaths. Chad?
Yeah.
Chad Daddy, you were right. Before you go, you were right. It is an asylum film.
Okay, that's what I figured.
Is it?
I want Mega Piranha versus Mecha Piranha.
Oh.
Actually,
Gene, you're not off.
You're not off,
You're not
Gene,
100%
but it-
right, but you're not 100%
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
I don't know about
Well,
terrible.
yeah, I
get
wouldn't. Yeah, we'll get there.
But-
Go on.
So
Chad-
we got music by Charles Bernstein, Cujo, A Nightmare on Elm Street, cinematography by Stephen H. Burham, The Untouchables, and Mystery Men, one of the best superhero movies.
Oh man, I haven't watched that in fucking 20 years.
Such a
dude.
funny movie. Edited by Frank J. Uriosti, RoboCop, Die Hard. Special effects and makeup by the man, Mr. Stan Winston himself.
Them titties.
Distributed by 20th Century Fox. So wouldn't that technically make this a Disney film now?
As of right now,
it is
yes.
a Disney movie.
Runtime of 125 very long minutes, needed to be a little bit shorter.
Let's give it
Rated
a hundred
R.
and ten.
Rated R, obviously. Budget of 9 mil and it only grossed 13.3 mil.
Hey, they made their budget though. That's all that
Yeah.
matters.
They
Barely.
made their budget with what?
Well, and especially back then, though.
Yeah,
They
I mean,
made-
there's a lot of movies coming out in the 80s, dude. Like,
They made their budget back with
Nah,
an extra
come on.
4 mil.
Dude, this had to go up against E.T. and Poltergeist. That's why it didn't do so well.
so
That and-
okay, so that's a hard running when you got this and Poltergeist Poltergeist is way
Better.
more family friendly and better, but obviously a lot bigger audience could go see that versus this. So that's always going to be the tank of
well,
horror.
this is probably the movie where some kid somehow was like, The Entity, I wonder what it's about. Went in there with a parent, and the parent definitely went, oh no.
I don't know that very many parents would have done that back in '82, taking their kid to an R film. I guess they probably would have.
I wouldn't say they wouldn't.
I wouldn't say they wouldn't, but it's not as like it is today.
Well, yeah. But then again, you also don't have to today. But that's But anyway, let's
All
get
right.
into this.
All right, so first thing I want to do is I want to start right in the beginning because, dude, we do not get any kind of like really opening at all. This shit starts with the fucking credits, and you best be paying attention to what the fuck is going on because that's her whole backstory is going on in this credits
Yep.
with no dialogue. So
She works. She goes to school.
She
goes home.
yeah, and she goes to school to be a typist to try to get herself to be a better job. Yeah, it's very fast.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing I will have to say right off the gate for me is I don't know, especially when we're looking with the cinematography and edited, you got people who have done some fantastic things. Granted, this is a lot probably earlier in their career, but why the fuck does it feel like it's a close-up the whole goddamn movie? Some scenes are fine with it and it looks good. It's almost kind of like that Evil Dead zoom in a little bit. But then other times it's just like, dude, it's too much. You just need to back it up just a little bit, man. Like, I don't need to see up the people's noses.
I think that's actually, for the kind of movie this is, I think that's the only way you could really go about it because there's such a concentration
No, I
on this
disagree,
woman.
man. It makes it feel too much like TV shot, dude. Like that feels like this should have not been in theaters. This
And,
feels
you know,
like this
I
was a
didn't-
made for TV movie.
I didn't even really notice that. I mean, I watched
that's all
it,
I
and
could
it just
notice,
it didn't
dude.
bother me. It didn't bother me. I guess.
Yeah,
is what I'm
yeah.
saying.
Dutch tilt shots. There were some
Yeah.
great ones, dude, for sure. But then I just felt like it was way too overused in it, dude. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
There was a great scene though. I don't know if you guys remember, but it was like a shot overhead. I think it was like right after the first time she was attacked, and she was going in her bedroom, and it was all shadowy, and it was just all complete light from behind her, so you could see her shadow.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
that was fantastic, dude. Like, I wanted a little bit more of that.
I liked personally the one shot where she brings the psychiatrist into the house to show him around, and they're talking in the bedroom, and off to
The
one
pan down the room, like
not the it's just a scene of him talking, but like he's in the main foreground right here, just a little off to the left, and behind him is a camera, and then you see the back of his head, and then you see her talking to him, so you get two both in the same.
That was a
really cool angle.
Fantastic stuff like that, especially another great shot when she's looking for her keys.
Her keys.
He's in the foreground, and dude,
and it's like they're right there. Turn around, the keys are right there.
That's ADHD right fucking there, dude. You're like, where did I just put my keys? Because you just had them 2 minutes ago, dude.
Oh god.
So, but like I said, man, then there's just other scenes where it's like when she's talking to her daughter at night in the bed and stuff, there's just really crazy close-ups of their faces for no fucking reason, dude. You know what I mean? It's just like, was it edited like this? Was this just a weird, like, I don't know. It felt very small scale. Like I said,
it did feel made for TV. It did feel made for TV. And I kind of wish that it would have came out as, maybe a 2-part miniseries to break it up.
They would have never been able to do what they did, though, in this.
True that.
It would be a lot of implied rapes as opposed to actually showing it. That's they would have to do it that way.
But for it being 2 hours long or whatever it was, that was I didn't remember it being that long.
If it was long,
but then again, I hadn't seen it in fucking forever.
Same, yeah.
See, I
just remember watching it as a kid and just being really creeped out that this was something that really we had never really seen in movies before up until that point, where somebody was getting raped by, R word. I don't know if we can say that word.
Say it.
But here's the thing, dude. That's exactly what happens, though. So how are you gonna?
It's the elephant in the room. You got to talk about it.
She's getting raped by this ghost or demonic entity, whatever it is, because they really don't really.
Bro, I'm saying demon.
Ever say what it is, and that's what I was going with. And I always thought it was a demon, also, especially because demons
on her, dude. It went with her everywhere. That's demon, bro.
And the smell, the stench that usually follows demonic.
Yes.
Yep. Exactly. And I do like, that they were able to capture kind of his silhouette in when they did the lightning picture, the picture of the lightning, and then
you see,
it just looks like normal lightning, and then they turn it, and you're like, oh shit, he's right there. Like, that's him standing right there. And I think it's a good movie. There wasn't any, not that it's a great movie, but it's one, like I said, I watched it when I was younger, and it's always stuck with me. Rewatching it now as an adult, I did feel like it was kind of a little bit too long, but being a paranormal investigator, knowing that this is based off of true things, that is why I adore this movie so much.
You know where I would have shortened this movie up, dude? Is not even in the third act, because the third act needs to happen a little sooner, because the paranormal investigators don't come in until like the last 40 minutes of the fucking movie, if less than that. So it's like, I feel like you maybe should take out a little bit, some of the middle shit. Maybe even just have it discussed that she gets attacked, but you don't have to show an attack. You know what I mean? You can cut that whole thing out.
Brody just brought up something that we actually discussed in the pre-show, which is what led to Scuba Stave saying we need to start recording the pre-show because of discussions like this.
Correct.
Yeah.
So it never really says what it did for her to be possessed, but usually when entities have an attachment or get attached to somebody, it's because they are in a weakened state of mind. They've had shitty lives, which she did. She had a very shitty life. She was abused.
She's a single mom who works 2 jobs.
She was a single mom. She's had trauma in her life. It's kind of hinted that her father touched her inappropriately. Coming from a religious family is another thing.
That's a huge thing right there.
Can I just side note just on the dad thing right there? When the main doctor, when they were having their table discussion, the round table on that shit, and the head doctor just blew that shit off. He's like, oh, well, she just assumed that happened. It's like, no, dude, fuck you. She
Yeah.
told you that happened. You need to listen to that shit, dude.
But I mean, but that's how it happens a lot for a lot of these people
I
that
know.
actually do have these occurrences. They'll go and tell somebody about it, and they try to get help, and a lot of people don't believe in the paranormal. So they're like, it's made up in your head, or you just had a nightmare. How many times did we have, we thought we saw something when we were kids and our parents just told us it was our imagination. But was it really?
Yeah.
Was it really our imagination, or did we actually see something?
See, that's the whole time I'm like, as argumentative as the main psychiatrist there was, I was just like, yo, bro, hang out at the house for fucking 24 hours.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what really irritated me was her first psychologist, the main character, the one he seemed more open and receptive to what she was telling him was going on. And then they have that whole scene where it's like that whole review board listening to him, and they fucking changed his mind and turned him against her.
Yes, they
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
he became kind of like an asshole at
He
that
did.
point.
Yeah.
Well, and it's because you got to remember too, it's his profession, So while he is trying to help his patient, you kind of want to be logical about it, because who wants to believe the
Well,
paranormal? Who wants to
that's-
say, "Oh, there's
No,
a ghost raping"?
That's because
That's
nobody
their
wants to admit that
mind-
there's a higher power that they're not in control of.
Right. And that's
Yeah.
their mindset. And that's all they want to believe in, because they don't dare question if there's more out there, because then that takes everything that they know and literally makes it shit.
And
Yeah.
that bothers me because we saw the attack, and then the second attack is where it got worse to start. You see a
Yeah, Joe.
bite marks in spots where
Fucking Joe Day.
you keep Jesus Christ.
Oh, the big
Anyway,
crap
you
again.
see bite marks in spots where you can't bite yourself.
Yeah.
Why does that not click off? I don't care what any psychologist is. Why does it not click off in your head like, I don't really think that's self-inflicted unless you are so flexible, which your neck is not that
Well,
flexible
they'll
in
they'll
spots.
just they'll just say that they brought their kids into the delusion with them and their kids bit them or something.
Well,
like
remember what he already said what his reason was. He goes, some people think their delusions so much that bruises and things manifest.
Yeah.
That
So he
was
just thinks that she just like made it happen. It's like,
see,
okay.
that's I don't care what any psychologist says. That is bullshit.
Well, I mean, and then too, but as a professional, you have to look at it from the other side also. And this is why I love what I do with the investigations. You have to look at it from both sides. So, yes, she comes in claiming, "Oh, this occurred." But could somebody have bit her? Could somebody have put those bruises on her while she was in a state of, maybe asleep, or maybe she took some pills and passed out or something, or somebody drugged her and did that to her without her knowing, and she created these delusions in her head.
Right.
So that's where he's looking at it from, which I get 100%.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
But we, of course, know, watching what's going on, know that there's this fucking thing just fucking with her this entire time. Now, my question is, why did it just make itself known as opposed to it being attached to her all her life? Was it something that was in the house that got attached to her? Where did she pick up this attachment? And it never explains in the movie where it came from or why it attached itself to her.
I think it came from. I think it was because. Well, I'm gonna go on my theory is I think it just took enough of the time or the abuse from this childhood, and now it's at a point where she is more weak because at one point she was married, then she had another guy, she has this guy, but at one point, remember, she says it started after her boyfriend in the movie left to
Left.
go on business.
Yeah.
So
Gary,
it
right?
started at a point where maybe she felt strong with him there. Now he's gone for
She
an
felt
extended
weak
period.
again.
Now the week is there. Who's going to help her? Well, your two daughters are too young to do much. Okay, well, that leaves him out. You have a son, but he's kind of doing his own thing, although he'll help you. So it's like, so what's going to protect you? She is strong,
how-
but she's not. The mind is not strong by any stretch of the imagination. Just look at her past.
Well, Brody
And how
Brody also just
what-
said he thinks that he's wondering if it was her ex-husband. I think was that who else brought that up too? Was
Bobby
that
said that.
That's what I thought,
Yeah,
Bobby.
I said that. Yeah.
Well, we don't know if her father was dead. If her father was sexually assaulting her as a child, it could have been him, or it's just some demonic entity.
So
I don't know why. I mean, maybe the ex-husband, but why?
do you think, okay, And I understand, and I'm not even trying to think movie format, but I'm just thinking like, dude, you're 2-3 weeks into this shit. Clearly something paranormal is happening, right? But where you're going is not go. How come she never went to the church? Was it because of her father being a minister and what he did? Is that's
Probably,
why
Yeah.
she
it probably
was
Very
swayed
likely,
her
yeah.
from religion.
okay.
Okay.
And that's probably another reason too that she was so weak, is because she didn't have her faith anymore. So
Yeah.
that's another reason that made her weak.
Something
Fuck, I was gonna say something I don't remember.
something I want to touch on, since we mentioned the father was a minister. I mean, this is probably so far fetched, but at the same time, if it's going to be someone, even though the husband maybe was worse, if the father did that and he was part of the church, maybe in some case, father went to hell. If you're a minister, you're doing the shit. 9 times out of 10, you're going to go to an underworld. Maybe
Yeah.
he took on a form. I mean, and
I'm still saying it.
you know,
I'm still
it's
saying it's a demon though, dude. Just
That's
because
still, yeah.
because the like if you and I'm only taking this into the effect of like, let's say the car scene. Like usually a ghost is going to be attached to an object or something, not unless that
Yeah.
object is on
or a
your
location,
person.
object or a location, yeah.
Right. But if that object's on your person, sure. But she didn't. It never led to anything or alluded to anything like that. So it was just attached to her. So
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I still say
I'm
Well,
saying demon.
so
absolutely.
which is fine. But here's what I think this is a good question. If the demon's attached to her, why did it never possess her? Why did it never?
Because
Because
that's not what it was
wants
there
to-
for. It
just
wasn't
wants
there
to
for
fuck.
that.
Yeah.
But it has all the power in the world.
It could
Does it,
it
though?
could have easily possessed her in theory, but that's not what it was there to do. It wasn't there to possess her and give itself life. It was there to ruin her life even further and cause her more pain and agony.
Right, probably just to
than she
fuck
was
her
already
soul,
in.
ultimately, if you were going to go with
Yeah.
that aspect of it.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, I could get that. Yeah.
Potentially also taking her kids with her. I do have to say, in the beginning, when we first meet the son, and I don't know if you boys caught the weird vibe, but there was kind of a weird vibe between the mom and the son.
Yeah.
Very weird.
Yeah.
Amityville Horror too.
There was-
very weird
like
Amityville
that like
Horror
15 seconds towards the end of that first interaction. I'm like,
Like,
yo,
I
you
just
looking
really
at
hope
him.
she never gets stuck in the dryer for her sake, because
Oh God.
oh no.
Oh,
So
No.
yes, there was supposed to be an implied incest kind of relationship between the two of them. There was a cut scene that I don't think it was even filmed. That was cut out of the script where the demon gave her this. No, the demon gave her this this dream where she basically rapes her son.
That would have been too much for me.
That would have been too much for anyone, and that's why it was cut.
Oh, I remember what I was gonna say. How fucked would it be for you to walk into the living room and see some invisible fucking thing banging your mom on the couch?
I would.
Like,
oh my
what
god.
the fuck?
Oh my god. I don't even want to think about that.
Like,
That's
nobody's
a
nobody's
horrifying
coming-
scene.
Yeah, nobody's coming back from that night, dude.
No.
You know what
No.
I mean? Like,
No, like you are ruined
that
for
is-
the rest of
that
your
is
life.
Ruined.
PTSD from that. Like, that is a triggering moment. Oh my god,
A
dude.
triggering moment. He would have to
But
be in the
That's what I'm
hospital.
thinking.
You're never having
the
sex
doctor-
on a couch the rest of your life, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
You're not
The
even gonna have
doctor
one in your
did-
house.
You know, the doctor did allude to her having some kind of weird fantasy
Yes, he did.
Mhm.
with involving the kids, because she said there was a big one and
the
two little ones.
No, I know, and I just assumed that they were just looking for anything that would be the basic outage that would make
Yeah.
sense of like, okay, you the rule of 3 makes sense, you know, you got 3
Yeah.
kids, but that's a whole nother scene that still like the little ones never come back. You know what I mean? She never explains, or at least that we know of, because obviously everything's invisible. But like, how big was this thing? Because like, was it blob size by the end? At least that's what it looked like to me.
Yeah.
I think that was
thing.
just all the energy that it had accumulated at that point.
Okay.
Not necessarily that it was that big, but by that point and how much it's fucked with her, that's how much power it's gained.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is
Because
why
if
it was
it
able
just
to just
freeze-
destroy that so easily too.
Yeah.
I
And
also
George's apartment. He was pissed.
Yeah, he
yeah.
That
was.
was the
Yeah,
first
boy.
thing I even said. I was like, "Oh man, George is gonna be pissed."
That's what I thought too.
Not that he's not a dick by any fucking means.
But your first thought is, and I was expecting him to walk in and look at her and just like, "What the fuck did you do?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%, homie. 100%.
But they caught that last like
Mm-hmm.
boom as they were walking in, so
Uh,
that was her only saving grace. Because I'd be pissed if I came home and my house was trashed after I had just left.
yeah.
Plus, any
Like 5
intelligent
minutes after you just left, dude. Like, what
and
the
any
fuck?
intelligent person's gonna look at all the glass on the ground and realize that it broke from the outside in too. So.
Yeah, like, and
Yeah.
how? You know what I mean? Like, holy
W-
shit.
But one of the most disturbing scenes is more towards the end when what's her Jerry, whatever her
When
boyfriend's
Jerry
name is.
actually sees it happening,
I gotta tell you, that scene is probably from a boyfriend's standpoint. Don't even mention her. Him seeing the indents happening and she can barely speak is horrifying. And he can't do a damn thing about it. He tries to, and then it kind of makes him look bad because, and then the thing got up and got away, and it
And
hit
I
her.
just want to say this: if this entity is listening by some chance, you got some weak stroke game, bro. You were like a fucking 3-pump chump.
Yeah,
That's all
Yeah,
you had.
man.
Like, come on.
he was like the dudes in the Rob Zombie's fucking Halloween. Like,
Oh yeah,
they
my
rolled
calf
up,
is
threw a
cramping.
mask on, where it's like, woo! All right, I'm done. Switch your cousin. Yeah.
or Jim in American Pie when Nadia was dancing in his room naked.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And done. End scene. Man, I mean, I gotta say the physical acting though by our main actress was just insane, and she
Yeah.
sold it so well.
Mhm.
I did. And just right now I realized because I'm like, where have I seen her? What have I seen her in recently?
Damn right, Gene.
Fucking Insidious.
See, I
I
got to see Insidious, so I didn't
She's
recognize her.
She's the grandma in Insidious.
Yes, she
Okay.
is.
Oh, nice. Gene, it's funny you say that because right before the show we were talking, and I said the scene where the psychiatrist is first walking through the house with her is literally fucking Venkman and Dana's scene into the apartment.
Yeah.
It puts a whole different spin on the line. Well, that's just the bedroom, but nothing ever happened in there. What a
What a crime.
Not in this film.
yeah,
Oh, no.
Jesus
And
Christ.
It happened
Um,
everywhere in
Happened
this
in the
film.
bedroom, on the couch, in the
bathroom.
bathroom.
that was my thought though, is like, I wish I could go in there with a proton pack.
And then when they actually brought in the parapsychologist, dude, like I loved it because it's that gritty 80s era filming still. So it feels straight up like 84 Ghostbusters at this fucking point, at
Yes.
least in the beginning. And I'm like, come on, bro. This is just it. Like Egon's like a temp fucking under these guys or something like that. You know what I mean, dude? Like he's working his way to Columbia. But I wanted more of that. Granted, I don't know what happened in the actual like telling of the story. I know you know more than this.
Well, we'll talk about that in a little bit. I mean, it's very close. There's some things, of course, they tell
Yeah,
you that it's
liberties and shit
fictionalized.
for sure.
But there's a lot of things that occurred, but we'll talk about that later.
I want
So
to talk about the one scene, like right after she leaves the doctor's office, where they have the whole inquiry where all the doctors are there, and right after she leaves, fucking every single one of them lights up.
Yo, that
And I
they're
saw
smoking
that
the whole time, dude.
yeah.
dude, they lit up even harder after she left. They're like, my lungs hurt watching that scene. Like, oh,
I saw
I
him
can't
smoking
breathe.
I saw the guy
saw
smoking a
that-
cigar, and I'm like, dude, you're where did the smoke come from?
That
I saw
brought
that
me
and I was like,
back to
the
80s
Mhm.
restaurant life, dude, when they were like
Yeah.
smoking or non-smoking, but it didn't matter.
Dude,
It didn't
airplanes.
fucking matter, dude.
Airplanes were worse. Like they had smoking and non-smoking section. You're all in
And
the same
train.
fucking cabin. You're all enclosed together. There is no non-smoking section.
Right? Same with
Yeah.
trains, dude. Like,
It's like
you're
you get
all right.
smoking or chain smoking. That's your choices.
But yeah, man, you could taste it. Like that was some,
yeah.
and I liked how the main doctor, because he's a classy man, he's smoking a pipe.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's dignified. And the rest of them have fucking cigars, except for that one dude who's rocking a fucking Stogue. And I like that because that was, he was just like the big Bubba of the group. And just fucking, what's up, man?
Did y'all
Hi,
notice that
Mel.
Hello.
I'm gonna call it the rape music? Did you notice the rape music was very, very close to the music in fucking Maximum Overdrive.
Yeah,
I was
it
thinking the
was.
same thing watching it.
It was just like a
Wow.
few octaves
I
lower
don't know if I
than
would have ever
what the
put those two together until
I
you just
Yeah.
thought the exact same thing, dude.
I gotta say that music though, it made the scenes way worse, like creepy wise. I feel.
Well, I mean, and once it hit, you're like, oh, here we go.
bro.
Son of a bitch.
Ah.
You hear that music, you're like, we're gonna see titties.
And I fucking
And it's titty
It's the
time.
worst, dude, is because like, and we've mentioned this on the show numerous times, but it's like none of us really like the rape revenge movies or anything.
No.
No.
You don't even get the revenge in this movie, bro. Like, what?
Because
No,
she
you-
doesn't
Well,
even get
yeah.
away at the end, really.
You know, and really the only thing that saved her was that she fucking stepped up to it.
Yeah.
She said, I've had enough. You're not fucking with me anymore. Like, at that point, it lost all its power.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with being frozen in fucking helium or whatever the fuck that was.
That was just
That was not a little bush. That was the most horrendous 80s bush I've ever seen in my
That
life.
was shrubbery.
more hair.
That was shrubbery.
That was more hair than Johnny has on his face. That was horrendous.
no
would've
lie.
ate it.
I just trimmed yesterday.
Hey, Mel didn't get her tickets to the gun show up.
She didn't get
Yeah,
her tickets to the gun show. No.
So
she gets in for free. You know her. For God's sakes.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
Brody
baby.
just brought it up. We have to talk about the elephant in the room, and that's the very ending line of the movie. And
From the
I
entity.
know that it was supposed to be scary and shocking. Let me say, the first time I watched it, I laughed so fucking hard. I had to rewind it and watch it again.
that's
So-
literally just how Brody's dad says "Welcome home." Like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not
At the end of the
really
movie,
that
at the-
scary of a-
At the end of the movie, it shows her and her family moving out. She walks back in, the door slams shut, and the entity growls, "Welcome home, cunt." And I laughed my fucking ass off the first time I heard it. I get a message from Brody. He sent it like 4:30 this morning. I get it. And he's like, yeah, I gotta ask a question, man. It's like, so did that thing call her a cunt at the end of the movie? Yep.
Yes,
Sure
it
That's just
did.
the way Brody.
Awesome.
That's the way Brody would fucking welcome us coming home.
Yeah. We would walk in the door and be like, howdy,
Welcome
cunt.
home, cunt.
That's the way to go, man.
Howdy, cunt.
So like,
But no, and like I said, the only downside to this movie is that it's way too fucking long.
it is. It is.
Had
long.
they clipped, had there been some more edits, because there's a lot of shit in there that you could take out that we really didn't need.
Oh my God. I would have loved
There's a
to
lot
have
of
seen
stuff
this
in there that
movie.
we didn't need, and I just think that is the downside to this movie for me, is how long it is. Everything else in it worked for me, especially, like I said, coming from the paranormal background that I have. That is why I enjoy this movie so much. And it's not for everybody. I'm not saying I enjoy it because of the ghost rape or anything like that.
No.
It's just a very interesting case that actually occurred. And it's a case that Ed and Lorraine Warren had nothing to do with. Everybody
makes it true.
idolizes. Yeah.
Fair.
Everybody
charlatans.
idolizes
They're
Ed and
full of shit.
Lorraine. And I do believe some of their cases. I don't believe everything occurred that they said occurred, but I do believe that some things did occur. But this movie just has that soft spot in me because of what I do outside of this podcast and outside,
Well, I can
my
totally
hobby.
understand it
essentially.
from that aspect, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I wanted so much more of that, dude.
Just
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just gotta say, I'm laughing inside and trying not to laugh because you mentioned the Ed and Lorraine Warren, and all I could think of is that meme going around where Cheech and Chong run the fucking talk show with them.
Oh,
And it shows them sitting there, and
Yes.
Cheech and Chong looking all serious, and then it shows that the Warrens looking away, and Cheech is giving them the evil eye, and
yeah.
he's all-
it's fucking hilarious.
And I also think this movie, in a lot of ways, is, I say, cautionary tale in that, in the aspect, there's people that don't talk about things that happen to them, but this woman did. She tried to get the help, tried to work through it. It's like, look, something's going on here. I might not be able
Yeah.
to see it. And also, for the people who get told about it, you might not have seen it, but someone's telling you something's wrong. You need to do everything in your power to really figure out what's going on, because there's
Yeah.
people that will not.
Nope.
Whether it's an entity or a real life person, it's the
No.
cautionary tale of speak up also. And as ridiculous as things sound, someone's eventually going to be like, something just ain't right. Do something about it.
I also don't like the well, I don't know if it's just the way the doctors are, once again going back to the round table, just like how they are so trusted in their own science that like it can't be broken. And that mindset of just people in itself scares the fuck out of me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The fact that like there is no possible way that this can
There's
exist
no
just
in
because
between.
I don't
It's-
believe it
yeah.
exists.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. There's no in between. It's just their way. It's what they know. But and even when they mention, oh, they're parapsychologists that work here, they scoff at them.
yeah, they
because-
do. Yeah.
And it's like, and I wanted more debate in between those characters, honestly, because
Yeah.
like,
That could have been a whole other movie right there, though.
Mm-hmm.
I would have fucking ate it all.
Yeah,
up.
Yeah.
same.
Absolutely.
And you know something? No, it's not just those. I mean, this is also another thing. It's like, yeah, they were all just so into their thing. It's like you wonder why some things don't ever get accomplished. Is because like, no, it has to be this. It's definitely that she's making this all in her head. I still go back to the bite mark on her chest. I'm like, in her head, do you not see the teeth marks? I don't care what your imagination is. You can't.
Well, I mean, the handprint itself was there.
Yeah. Like you can't think your mind so deep to think that it appears there. That's I don't think a psyche can do that. I could be wrong.
No.
There are strange shit in this world. But as a psychologist, there's no way you look at that and go, you thought that up.
Okay, and Brody
I
just
also thought I was a millionaire too, but I don't have $1 million.
and Brody just brought up another really good point that the old doctor, he said the arrogant old fuck at the end still don't believe what he saw. I mean, he like
Yeah.
at the end she said, "Well, we have a witness," and all he could say, I saw something. It could have been anything. I don't know what I saw." Like
Yeah.
you literally fucking saw some strange shit going down, and all you can say is it could have been anything.
Yeah.
But you know what? What I love too about this is it doesn't just play on the paranormal angle, and it doesn't just
yeah.
play. You know, it's got all the in between also, because like when they hear the growl, and the son's like, "Oh, it's under the house," goes under the house, and he debunks it, and he's like, "Oh, it's this pipe. That's what it is. It's this pipe."
But
And
she's like,
but
then she's like,
who
"Well, then
moved
what
the
made
pipe?
it move?"
Yeah, exactly. So, but that in itself, that's what we do as paranormal investigators, is we try to debunk as much as possible before we can say, oh, this is actually something we can explain. It's something paranormal. And that's what I love about this movie, is it even shows you that even as a regular person, if something crazy's happened, you can still try to go and debunk it yourself.
Yes. Which I
But
love
if it
that.
continues, then that's when you got to reach out and give
It's
help.
kind of like the electrical
Yeah,
lightning
anomaly.
like at first the doctor of the parapsychologists was like, well, that could be an outlet in the wall, and they're like, this is on a ceiling, like this
Yeah.
is here, you see the outline. And then she's like, okay, so now we have to figure it out. Like, you know, it's like anything can be debunked normally, but if you see something that's in a plain picture like they had, that's a very hard one to explain. That is
Yeah, but
paranormal.
to get arcs like that through the air, you can't get that with just household wiring.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
No,
you can't. You don't have the proper voltage for that.
They're also that's too clean. You know, it's
So-
too clean of an arc.
When she had the first two parapsychologists there and they took the photographs and it was seemed to be in a weakened state, do you all think we was just fucking with her at that point? Or do you really think it was weakened? Because honestly,
I
like,
think it was,
I think it was
was
weakened
a-
because of how many of them were there.
Well, not just that,
but then how did
she
it come
was
back with such
actually-
a vengeance at the end when there's so many people there and it's just
because at that point, so it may have been fucking with her, but why make it self-known?
Yeah.
because it can.
Hold on. Let me tell you why. No. I'm telling you, asking that question. Why make it self-known? Because the more people that believe in it, the stronger it gets.
Okay, so it's a Freddy thing.
So exactly. And it's like that with a lot of entities in the paranormal world. The more people, the more power, the more belief that you put into this thing, the more it can manifest itself, the stronger it gets.
it's
So
also
that's why by the
Santa
end of
logic
it,
too, so.
What?
That's also Santa logic too.
Yeah.
Power
But
believing.
the more you believe in it, the more that power that it gets. And that's what we see at the end, is the collective of everything that it's taken from every single person there, because whether they knew it or not, they were contributing to the power that that entity had.
I think and it also made me think of a line from The Exorcist 2, not The Exorcist 2, The Exorcist as in The Exorcist also,
Okay.
where they're when they're trying to do the exorcism and the priests are there and they're talking to the possessed Reagan, and I don't believe in the sequel. To me,
No.
she's still possessed by the devil. It wasn't Pazuzu. It was the fucking devil. And so when she's possessed and they're trying to get to do all these things, and it just scoffs and goes, such a vulgar display of power. That kind of made me think that that's what the entity was feeling too at the time. Like, why should I prove myself to you? Why should I appear to you? I'm after her, not you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, this movie is just, it's just wild to think that this was potentially somebody's real life. Like, if they really had to go through this kind of shit, I mean, dude, I can't. If you didn't have kids, there's no way suicide wouldn't be a fucking thought. And I even hate saying that, but it's like, bro, that's, you know what I mean? Like, that's driving you to such a point. And
yeah.
Well, that also kind of makes you worry. You know, there's all these people that, you know, they commit suicide and take their own lives because they're hearing voices in their own head. You know,
oh yeah,
what if that's real? Maybe what if they really are? We don't know.
Yep.
Oh, sorry about that. What's up?
And yes, Brody, that was a great Pantera album.
Yes.
Yo, what up, Big Ed?
Howdy, peeps.
Never saw a mother speak on your grave. Blech, blech. Throw that in the trash. That and the remake.
I've still never heard of Unspeakable. I don't know what that is.
Unspeakable? I can't say that one.
I'll have to look into that one.
I thought he wrote Unbreakable earlier, which I was like, wait.
No, it's Unspeakable.
Like, that's totally
I'll have to look.
Okay. So anyways, other than that, man, like I said, there were some cool shots with the cinematography, I thought, and some really shitty, like, up close shots. Movie was very dark, but I don't know if that's more with just the times. Maybe that's an excuse. I don't know. I mean, everything was very brown, but that's also 1982. So,
and it was all lamps too. There wasn't like any ceiling lights. It was all lamps lighting everything too. So that could contribute to it.
Yeah. All right. You know what we got to talk about, and I wanted to, was the very first scene where we see the impression on her breast, because I was impressed with how they did that scene, because clearly, you know, that's like a fake piece, but you're just like, is it? And after thinking about how they did it, my wife looked it up and I was pretty much right. But yeah, it's any old school fucking body over the actual body.
And they use suction cups to pull it in.
Yep. And get that nice impression motion going on. Worked like a fucking charm. I actually like the first shot better than the full body reveal, because I feel
because the full body reveal looked fake.
Yeah, it looked a little too.
It was too lit up. It was too lit up.
Well, then it just looked a little too like rigid.
Stiff.
Yeah, just almost like Ash's girlfriend when she comes back from the dead in the fucking claymation scene, dude. Like, that's kind of what I was getting that vibe a little bit. And that bush, man, that bush was fucking crazy.
Dude, that was shrubbery. That was straight up shrubbery.
That was a shrubbery underwear. Like, that was gross. It was so gross.
Right, dude? Like, that's like worse than the one in Waiting, dude, where she's like pulling out fucking lint.
Yeah.
Dude, and just fucking flicking.
Scary movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. All right. Shall we hear from Brody on his?
Yes, let's do it.
I know Brody's got what did I say? 8-minute video?
8-minute video.
Yeah. So I'm very interested. I feel like Brody's got a lot to say about this movie.
Well, howdy fucking doody there,
sexy
folks.
pose.
It's your DKB here back for another episode of Gore. This week I'm here to talk to you about The Entity. My God, it has been a fucking hot goddamn minute since I've seen this film. Very underappreciated film. Very underrated. Highly fucking underrated. I remember seeing it years ago and I absolutely fucking loved it. And for some reason, I never really got a chance to go back and watch it. I completely forgot about it. So it's really good that one of yous, whoever it was, which one was it?
It was me.
Right, you. I fucking love it. Despite there's no gore, there's some pretty fucking brutal scenes throughout this entire film. The brutality of it is very controversial, especially for its time. There's a fucking grey hair. So yeah, fuck that grey hair. Moving on to the film itself, I think it does an extremely good job at like playing with tension especially, this reality of paranoia throughout the film with our lead actress. I like how they're able to make us think that in the first act that maybe that what we're seeing is through her perspective, but potentially could be like all in her head, because not too many people see the entity itself until obviously, later on in the film. So to not only think that she's batshit crazy, we get a doctor that comes in and convincingly says to her, and not only that, us, the audience, that she is batshit crazy. Then maybe we're like, she's crazy. Maybe we're just seeing what she thinks she's seeing. And then I think she describes to him halfway through the film that there's just something traumatic that's happened in her life. That could be definitely one of two things. And then the more that she talks about it, we're like, no, she's definitely, not possessed, but she's definitely got a supernatural being attached to her. So, I like how they're really able to play with that, mind fuck us, the audience, especially. I would have loved to have seen this film back in the day where, not many twists were thrown around, or, I don't know, it's a different take on the supernatural horror element about it. It feels like it's a twist that should be like in a slasher film or something, but it works extremely well for this type of film, and I like it. Like a psychological horror. It's good stuff. I like it a lot. So, moving on to the characters, I got to praise our lead actress in this. I think her name is Barbara Hershey or something. Anyway, her name was Carla in the film. Absolutely fucking fantastic performance. I mean, she was just a fucking tour de force, a powerhouse, a force to be reckoned with. How she was able to capture this believable performance and deal with such strong themes. Serious themes, very, very controversial and serious themes, especially for that time, and able to perform them out in a way that seemed extremely believable. I thought was done exquisitely, and the way that the camera was able to capture her performance, oh my god, it was fucking terrifying at times. Fantastic stuff. And also got to mention the doctor. Like I said before, I mean, some of the shit that he was saying to her maybe had me questioning, shit about her, going, I don't know, he was manipulating her words to what I was sort of buying into, and I was sort of like, you know what, maybe she fucking is loony. Maybe she is losing the shit. So, that guy who played the doctor did a fantastic job, especially for me to get invested into the story and, maybe go down one of two roads. I thought it was done extremely well. And their chemistry on the throughout each scene was believable. It was fantastic. It seemed great. It was great stuff. So one thing I noticed about the cinematography in this, and I am not knocking it by any means, because I thought it was done exceptionally well, and they didn't overuse it, but they did use it a lot for the very intense, brutal fucking scenes throughout this film. And when you saw the Dutch tilt in those mid close-ups throughout the interior of the house on the lead actress, you knew the music was going to come in and then the shit was going to go down. And how they were able to really capture that. To me, it felt intimidating because I was sort of like, well, this is a little bit different throughout the cinematography of other supernatural films. I mean, they don't really do this sort of stuff, but for me, it worked extremely well. I don't know what it was about it. Maybe the music that was there as well, really. Actually, a shout out to the fucking music in this, because the music was actually pretty terrifying. That fucking zoom, 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 zoom when shit was happening. And as I was saying, for those brutal scenes there before, like I was saying, they were just showing everything with these tight close-up shots, just to capture that emotional aspect of the character or actress in the moment. And to me, it feels more disturbing when we're able to capture her face up close. And with that sound layered over the top, it feels more disturbing and haunting to me. And it really does capture the essence and atmosphere of the horror for that subgenre of the fucking supernatural horror. I just thought it worked extremely well with the scenes. They were choreographed well. The blocking was done superbly. I mean, this director was trying to do something new and different. Like he really knew what he wanted. And he got it. And it was just it works well. It just works well. I can really appreciate this film just for how extremely different it is, especially for a supernatural film. And it feels to me that it looks more into the subject matter and explains more of a solution to us, the audience, whether it's the first, second, or third act. And I mean, it is a lengthy run of a film, like it's 2 fucking hours or whatever it is. But I think they pace it extremely well. Especially, I'm already invested with the characters themselves, so it doesn't really faze me. But when those scenes pop up, they're really brutal and intense, scary fucking scenes, whatever you want to call them. They just hit more. They hit extremely more. They're like a gut punch or a kick to the dick. And that's what I love about this film. It's just paced well. And when the blocking of these scenes occur to us on the screen, you know, they just really go all for it. And it just, yeah, it adds a huge impact to it. And I can really get behind that. Now, before I give you my Gore and More score, I have a question for Steve Vasquez.
Ooh.
So, Scuba Steve, if you're listening, hope you can answer this for me. Now, in the law of paranormal, is it possible for a spirit to impregnate a human being? And if so, what is the name or term for that? For some reason, I was
Jesus.
Immaculate Conception.
I should have probably looked it up, but you're the expert on this, so I would love to hear your expertise on it. And if it's possible, if it's not, that's okay. But anyway, moving on to the Gore and More score itself, I am going to give the entity a fucking 4.5.
Nice.
I like this film. I love this
4.5. All right.
I'm a sucker for supernatural horror films, and this film just fulfilled my expertise.
Makes me so happy.
Needs, sorry,
like
not
it.
expertise. What the fuck am I talking about?
I was waiting for him now.
So Brody wishes everybody well, and we'll see you next week. His video was cut about 20 seconds short.
Yes, too long.
Which honestly, I can't believe even Messenger fucking allowed him to send a video that long. That's impressive. Usually,
so I can tell you how the video ended. I'll see your mother lickers next week.
Cunts.
Yeah, unguaranteed. Yep, he probably called it cunts.
So to answer Brody's question, there's never been a recorded case where a spirit got somebody pregnant, but there are entities that can have sexual activity with you. So for the woman or the female spirit, it's a succubus, and a male spirit is an incubus. Those can attack you sexually. But as far as getting one pregnant, there's never been.
No.
The only documented case of a spirit getting somebody pregnant was the Virgin Mary. That's all I got.
That's a different case.
I like how that was in air quotes there, Steve.
Well, I mean, everybody has different beliefs. I have
the longest running con ever. How'd you bake that pie, Joseph? God help me. We don't even
God help me.
I'm gonna just move over. I'm just moving over this way so I don't get struck by lightning.
Stop talking, because if anything's going to happen, we're all going to get shocked through our computers.
You know, I was actually talking about something crazy that happened, and this was the last time I ever went to church. When Damien was baptized, he wasn't even a year old yet. So I was raised Catholic, and my grandma was very adamant, you have to baptize your son. So we had to do all these classes or whatever. It was the sunniest day in recorded history in Corpus Christi, the day that we baptized my son. We go inside the church. The ceremony starts, and in rolls in the biggest thunderstorm.
You named your child
nowhere,
Damien, bro.
I did name him Damien, and from The Omen too. Like literally, that's where I got his name from.
Shit on this one, bro.
Yeah, and I swear to you guys, the biggest thunderstorm rolled through, and it fucking poured down. The power went out. They finished the ceremony, and like maybe 5 minutes after we were just kind of sitting there and the father was talking to us, power came back on. We walked outside, and it was a sunny day again.
Now, my question is, do you think in today's day and age of 2023, can I still get the COVID style baptism up for kids? Do you remember this shit was going down in 2020 of
No.
like priests using super soakers to fucking baptize kids?
Oh, dude.
Can I get the
Oh.
I don't
2020
know.
treatment still? Because I want that shit going down.
Yeah,
bro.
that'd be
Just like a
fucking
priest
great.
from like 6 feet away, being like, "Bless these."
Hey, by the way, since we mentioned, I said about Johnny getting struck by lightning, and about God getting us. We all know there's only one entity that can get us on the podcast.
Shh! Don't fucking say your name. I was speaking it. What do you even
Don't.
for that?
But I do have a question for Steve, real quick.
What's up?
Does your son have 666 on his head?
Not that I know of.
Have you not looked in the?
I've never looked.
Does he
I've
have
never
ass
looked,
mark?
but he does have ass mark.
Is it 333 or 66? Like,
He just has a brown ass mark.
Oh.
Birthmark
Get it
on
looked
his
at.
ass.
It could be in Braille, for God's sake.
It's in Hebrew or some shit. I don't fucking know.
oh man.
We'll talk about that in the chat, Jeremy. We'll talk about that in the chat. Let them be salty little bitches. Anyways,
Wait, who's salty?
we'll
All
talk
right.
about it after.
I was like, wait a minute, I missed something here. All right. What the fuck is Brody saying? Wild theory, they have sex with male hoes and carries. Oh.
That would be an interesting movie. That alone, I don't know.
It's possible.
There's the movie right there. That's the name of the movie right there, Brody. Phantom Pregnancy.
There's already a movie like that. It's called The Phantom Menace.
That's not Ghost. That's the Force.
Wait, was
There's
that
a cranberry
Same
sauce,
difference.
so he was Jesus. Essentially, right?
He brought balance to the world.
That's right.
Yeah, what
mean-
world?
Well, there was only like 2 Siths and like 1,000 fucking Jedi. So yeah, man, you had to kind of even it out a little bit if that's what you're going with, right?
If you look at it, he did bring balance.
That's
to
what
the
I'm
Force.
saying,
He
bro. He even this is not a Star Wars podcast.
It is
It's
just
not,
that balance
it's not,
they were
but
looking
he
for.
did. He did do
But
exactly
by the
what
way,
he said.
Steph was playing Hogwarts Legacy the other day, and she was trying to beat somebody. And I told her to, do this, do that. And then I'm like, use the Force. And Harper's like, Daddy, that's Star Wars. I said, that's right. And that's a much better franchise.
Hey man, I like Hogwarts Legacy. It's a sweet game.
I like it too, but, Star Wars, tops.
Gene.
You just made my saber long.
And
How
I
long is that saber, Gene?
I see your Schwartz is as big as mine.
That's right. All right. So, I mean, dude, Brody brought in definitely a lot more shit on top of what we already said. Is there anything else that you guys want to say? Or, I mean, I'm ready to hear what you guys have for behind the scenes shit. So,
I'm ready for behind the scenes.
I want to hear
Movie
behind
stuff
the
and
scenes.
real life.
Right,
stuff,
we can
so.
do behind the scenes first, and then we'll do Scuba Steve stuff. So,
Yeah.
there's not a whole ton. I got like 3 pages.
Hey,
and a lot of it's so Martin Scorsese included this movie on his top 11 scariest horror films of all time list.
Nice.
I'm guessing with it
Actually,
being top 11, it's probably number 11. Otherwise, it would have said top 10.
That's actually
That's such a weird
Probably had a
number
soft
to
spot.
have.
I
on
know
the-
that's a weird arbitrary number to pick.
right.
Like I'm gonna pick 12
Like,
movies.
if you're gonna go scary movies and you're gonna have a stupid number, at least be like my top 13 horror. You know what I mean?
maybe there were 2 that he just liked so much that he couldn't decide between them. It's like fuck it, I'll do 11 instead of 10.
I mean,
Well,
I
that's
do that
usually
all
when
the
you
time.
tie for like first though, not. I guess whatever. Anyways,
Well, Purdy said it's called a turkey baster. Now all I could think of was fucking Seed of Chucky.
Oh, God.
I've never finished that movie. I turned
don't
it
need
off
to.
because it was
It's-
so
it's
bad.
so
the first
dumb.
time I was
It's
watching
such
it,
a
You're not
bad
missing
movie.
much, so
not
leave it
watching
there.
this anymore. It was so stupid.
Man, how did it go from something so scary as Child's Play to Seed of Chucky?
2000s, bro. 2000s
Yeah.
had a terrible fuck. And you know what, dude? I like Bride of Chucky. Like Bride of Chucky has definitely its own like
Oh, yes.
vibe. in
Seed of
comparison to
Chucky.
the first
Seed of
three.
Chucky. I've seen Seed of Chucky once, and I never needed to see it again.
Yeah, I've seen it
Yeah.
half of once, and I'm
And
still
you-
right with you, homie. But like Bride of Chucky, dude, I've definitely seen a handful of times.
Dude, one of the best scenes is the when their gay friend gets splattered by the semi truck.
Oh yeah.
I also like the
Fuck
one
yeah.
where he throws up the bottle and kills the people with the sex mirror. I don't know why I always. enjoy
Oh, yeah, that is a good
Or
one.
that's a
the
good one.
the
'Cause
nail
that's always
bomb,
been a fear of mine. Anytime you see him,
the,
you're
fu-
like,
the fucking nail bomb that gets John Ritter right in the face.
oh,
So
rest in
good.
peace, John.
Yeah.
Ritter. Rest in
Yes,
peace.
rest in peace.
And then fucking Chucky looks at.
We got to talk about kills. About
Yeah, 'cause
in
we
other
didn't get any
movies,
kills
This
in
one
this
had
one.
none. We didn't have any kills in this one.
We ain't gonna talk about what
The only thing that killed was that pussy.
Oh, it got destroyed.
Yo, man, but her son got some sweet force lightning going on in this.
Yeah, he did. I would have been like, unlimited power.
That's what I was expecting the line, dude, to be like.
So, man, this came out in 82, so Jedi wasn't even out yet. Like,
No,
we didn't
83.
see Force Lightning yet.
No.
This was pre-force lightning. All right.
Yeah.
Was it
Anyway.
was it talked about in anything beforehand? Was there anything in between the first two movies? Any comics or anything like that? I don't.
No, not like that.
Definitely
No.
not.
All right. Good to know.
Well, they were afraid they didn't really know what Lucas had planned. So they kind of just a lot of the stories were, they fought like smugglers and stuff in the comics. Like it shied away from a lot of the Jedi and Sith
The main
stuff.
story stuff. Word.
Okay. The majority of the special effects in the film were achieved with practical methods and were supervised by our boy Stan Winston. For example, the scene in which Carla's nude body is groped by the entity was shot featuring a latex dummy body with suction cups built inside, which allowed crew members to manipulate it to appear as though fingers were making impressions on her flesh. Hershey's body, aside from her head, was hidden beneath the bed during the scene. The construction of the dummy body cost the production $65,000 to create.
Wow.
Damn.
That's definitely.
That's 82.
And I was looking to see if you could see like the neckline,
No.
kind of like you did in fucking Friday the 13th, and you can't.
No,
see
you
shit.
can't. That
It's
has
done very well.
that, and the lighting definitely helps that.
Gene says the scariest movie ever is Texas Chainsaw. I don't know if I agree with that entirely, but I don't entirely disagree with it. It's definitely up there.
You said it was 65,000.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So today's it would be $204,000. That's not that much more of a. I was expecting way more than that.
Okay.
Texas Chainsaw scariest movie ever.
It's definitely a top
It's up there.
5. It's a top 5.
It's
Like
very
OG?
disturbing.
It's a top 15 for me.
What would you say is top? Because I don't think I can pick a number one.
For like
I don't-
scariest?
Yeah.
I'd have to sit and.
What are we talking
think
about?
about
Like
it.
what we would term as scary now? Like what scared us in the past? I guess like I don't
You know
know.
Idea, jot this down. Our Halloween episode this year, we will talk about our the movies we think are the scariest.
Okay, down.
All right.
Yeah.
Because that gives us time to plot it out, figure it out. Because this is something that's going to take me days to sit and go through all these movies that I've seen.
Because like yeah, man. Because like if I think about shit that scared me as a kid, dude, like I could think about a lot of weird, arbitrary shit that wasn't necessarily supposed to be scary, but definitely fucking was.
Yeah, because 10-year-old me would have a different list than 46-year-old me.
Yeah, like nowadays, dude. Like as fucked up as it is, see that's not even scary though. I don't know.
10-year-old me was terrified of the gate.
10-year-old me was terrified of Night of the Living Dead.
10-year-old me or
Phantasm. I was terrified of Phantasm.
7-year-old me was terrified of the Blob. 88
Blob?
version. Yeah, 88.
Well, yeah, but that's understandable, dude. I was too.
That thing was fucking brutal.
Right? The thing was massive. And you see a kid fucking die in that, like really fucked up.
That wasn't even the scene
Honestly,
that messed
see,
me
like,
up.
You guys are throwing in shit that makes sense. Like, I'm gonna throw no, dude. Like, I was scared as a little kid of killer clowns, bro. It was the fucking. I was expecting you to. Scared the fuck out of me for.
I was expecting you to say fucking Return to Oz.
Oh, that
no,
was
I didn't.
worse.
I didn't watch that.
I've never
till I was
watched.
a little
I
bit
never
older,
watched
but I
it.
could totally see if
Those
I
wheelers
watched
were
it as a
scary as
kid.
shit.
Yeah, it would have been terrifying.
I honestly never watched that, so now I have to.
You have to watch it. It's
a
good
very
fucking watch.
dark kids
And it's
movie.
dark. It's
Okay.
dark. So dark.
Brody says Rocky from Dennis from the Mad.
You know what? I was also.
I
Like,
was,
my
dude.
mom
It
would-
freaked me out a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
No,
my mom watched that
Gene,
movie
they
all
do
the
not know
time.
about Dalt, and I think that's a legend that needs to stay local.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, you know what, Chad Daddy? I like this. That'll be a tough, because that'll definitely be
Yeah.
a tough think one. So okay,
Yeah.
we'll get off this subject and we'll save that. What else we got then, homie? Behind.
Okay,
the
I
scenes?
got something about the true story, but I will let Scuba Steve take that. That's all him. Let's see. Actresses Jane Fonda, Jill Clyburn, Bette Midler, and Sally Field were initially sought for the role played by Barbara Hershey. Thank God we didn't have to see Bette Midler naked.
I'm
God,
literally,
no.
as soon as you said that, I'm just thinking, I'm like, yo, man, would we have saw Bette Midler's titties?
Well, you didn't see Barbara Hershey's titties either.
Oh, those were titty doubles? in
She
the
used a
mirror?
body double. Oh, by the way, Funny.
Even
It's funny that we're talking about Bette Midler because these two were in Beaches together.
Yeah.
Wait. So that was a body double in the mirror? Because I swear to God, you literally see her take the kimono off and get up and.
But you only see it from the shoulders down.
Oh, that's true. He's
Right.
right. Yeah.
That was her titties. Don't ruin it for me.
I
Unless you have
know.
something
Why
I'm
you
in your
gotta
notes.
sorry.
do that
I
to
am
me?
Unless
sorry.
you have something in your notes, it's
It's
her
in my
titties.
notes. I'm
Because I'm just
sorry.
God, delete it right
I'm
now. It never
sorry.
happened.
It never happened.
Because I'm just thinking, I'm like, damn, dude, like, wow, she really did that for that role.
Actually, no. Wait a minute. You do see her face before she takes them off, and then it's all
Yeah, but I
folded
think
down.
Chad, like, I think you could easily edit the way they did it though,
Yeah.
because all it has to
I'm
do is
fairly
go
certain.
back and
I'm
forth.
fairly
really
certain you
quick.
see her face, then she stands up, then it cuts away real quick, then it shows
I
back.
think you are correct. I think it. Damn it!
I'm
Why'd you
sorry,
have-
guys.
Why'd
I'm
you have to
sorry.
go there?
I'm sorry. This is Return of the Living
And
Dead
they
Part
were
3
Even
all over
Brody
again.
caught it. Now Brody's sad.
But you already got me with it last.
I
What was it,
know.
last
No,
week or
it's
the
like
week
2 weeks
before?
ago or something.
Now I owe you another one.
Mm-mm.
Anyway, now that you ruined it, continue.
Oh God, if it would have been Bette Midler, all I can do is I just pray they would have used a body double there too.
You know what? Bring him on. Flop him out. I want to see him.
Whatever, they're tits. And by the way,
82 Bette Midler tits, bro. You can't you got.
I would just like to remind everybody that she does own a racehorse with Krusty the Clown. Crudler.
I'm just saying, man. Like Ron White says, dude.
I'll get you for this,
You're
Bette
still
Midler.
gonna want to see him regardless, dude. Let's
Yeah.
see.
Yeah,
You've
they're
seen one
titties.
woman naked. You want to see the rest of
Anyways,
All right, continue.
what else we got, Chad, Daddy?
Further excerpts of the original score by Charles Bernstein of this film can be heard in the original version of A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Nice.
In a July 2012 interview published in Rue Morgue magazine, the film's director said that he did not consider this movie to be a horror film.
What?
How
the fuck did you not? I mean,
that,
It's a paranormal drama.
it's
I
I guess.
It is a movie that, I mean, excluding the rape scenes, it's something you would see on like Lifetime
it's
during Halloween.
Any
time.
movie that's intended to terrify, shock,
Yeah.
or what's the other word they use? Terrify, shock, or disturb is considered
Yeah.
horror.
Yeah.
Yes, and this movie is disturbing.
I see what you're saying, those Scoobs. Like, if you honestly take out the graphic scenes of like what's actually happened to her, the rest of this you could easily fly by on like TBS or something.
Yeah.
And yeah, no problem.
It's you take out all the rape, and it's basically the Amityville Horror, which really felt like a made-for-TV movie.
And it was boring.
Sure.
Very boring.
Almost
All
Amityville.
right, you know what?
too.
I'm sorry for making you boys watch that. And so,
Oh no, because we got a much better movie with the sequel, so I'm okay with it.
I mean, I still, and you know what, dude? I might be a little biased just because obviously I do have a hard on for Ryan Reynolds, but I do love his version of Amityville.
Oh yeah,
I know, like a lot of people fucking
I like
shit
it.
on it, but
Have not watched the remake.
Hey,
The scene where they leave at the end. and they're on the
Amityville
boat.
3D for life.
Yeah, fuck
yeah,
you.
right. Wait, what were you saying, Chad Daddy?
They escape with the boat in the end of the movie. I thought that was just weird. Like
Eh, I was fine with it. I was like, whatever. I thought, you know what? I thought it was more stupid that it goes back to the house just to show the ghost girl stupid scene and everything. I'm like, wait, why is it showing it for it? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Oh God, it does too. I forgot all
Yeah.
about that.
I would rather just have them just going off into the boat and then ending it there. Way better. You don't need to go back and just have that random.
You know, in my head, that was how it ended. I forgot all about the ghost scene in the end.
Uh-huh.
Never mind.
It,
I
I'm
hated
not
that
gonna,
ending so much. That's what I
I'm
thought.
not going to say that movie is not hampered by 2000s bullshit. By
No.
all means,
At
but
least it's not as bad as the Fog remake.
I have not seen that either.
Yeah.
No.
Do not.
But I like the whole. I don't know, man. Ryan Reynolds got scary, dude. Like I was just like, whoa.
It's sexy.
He actually kind of pulled it off. Like, yeah, I kind of liked it. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about the entities. So,
Maybe
what
we'll
else
have,
we got,
maybe we'll have to add that at some point, just so we can discuss it further.
Which one?
The
bro?
remake, the Amityville
what?
Horror. I will
TJ
not watch the
would
Fog
put-
again
TJ would pull, be like, wait, how are you guys skipping all the other Amityville movies before?
because they don't exist.
Like, we don't have time for 26 more Amityvilles.
Guys, look at what fucking Birdie just wrote.
Amityville 3D is showing at cinemas in Melbourne.
Brody, if I don't
Do
fucking get a
You
picture of
fucking
you
won't.
Yeah.
holding a sign protesting, I'm gonna be
Yeah,
so
if we don't see
If
that
only-
picture,
If only there was a way we could edit in his review of Amityville 3D before the movie.
oh, that would be so great. All right, what else you got on that menu?
The
over there,
method
Chad?
in which Carla is diagnosed by physicians, a method which relies heavily on her personal history, and in particular her relationship with her father and her sexual encounters with other men, reflects a largely Freudian psychodynamic method of diagnosis. This, combined with the fact that she is initially diagnosed by the team of doctors as having hysteria, a disorder that has disappeared from mainstream American psychiatric diagnostics, makes the movie one of the last in which a Freudian method and conceptions largely related to sex and childhood development are shown to have a significant impact on the diagnosis of patients. With the rise of neurochemistry, neuroscience, and biological tests in the 80s, 90s, and beyond, Freudian methods like those portrayed in this film would themselves become considered by many mainstream biological psychiatrists to be superstitious.
Nice.
So that's actually pretty ironic that that's considered superstitious when he was basically trying to school her on superstitions and the origins
Right.
of them.
No shit.
Hmm.
Yo, so Gene says Return of the Living Dead, best titties. So what was that? Linnea Quigley, correct?
Yes.
All right. So, boys, I hate to be perverse, but I guess we're going to have to say right off the top of the head, best titties you can think of from a horror movie.
Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, the nurse scene.
Damn, Bob, you had that on the fucking tip. That was ready.
I will say the biggest cock tease about titties that we didn't get is Halloween 4.
Oh, yes.
I'm gonna have to go 09 fucking Friday the 13th, bro. They were stupid.
Perfect nipple placement.
That's right.
That was nice. Ooh. Dang.
This is easily a deep library, and I don't mean to be like super perverse, but Gene's thing was just like, yo, dude, that just made me think. Steve's still thinking though. Everybody's
I am, because I'm like, damn.
I was expecting Steve to be like, yo, I don't give a shit how fake they are. 13 ghost bitches.
Oh, yes, yes,
There you go.
yes.
Good
I
one.
know, my boy.
I know
Shut
I know you, boy.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
I got you.
That is fantastic.
That is his reaction is what made that.
I got you, dude.
I was scrolling through my fucking Rolodex of fucking movie
Is that
titties
what,
in
dude?
my head.
That's honestly was almost gonna be mine, but I was like, I don't know, man.
You know what? Even though we didn't pick her as the hottest in that movie, I got to go with Deb Voorhees in Friday the 13th, Part 5.
Not a bad choice, man.
All right,
Those
okay,
are nice.
Reggie Phantasm.
Phantasm 3.
Oh my god!
Ah, Gene, you win today.
Although the ones that are at the end of They Live are nice and perky.
Yes,
Okay.
they
Yeah. Yep. All right.
What?
All right.
What's next on your list? Oh my god!
When Barbara Hershey was interviewed for the Scream Factory Blu-ray of The Entity in 2018, she had nothing but kind words to say about director Sidney J. Furie, even saying that going to work on it was fun and stress-free because he was at the helm, making her feel comfortable, safe, and protected at every turn. She also described it as one of the best creative experiences of her career.
Oh, nice.
All right, good.
A whole dream sequence where Carla was forced to have incestuous thoughts about her son by the entity was dropped for the movie by the director because it was too sexually controversial at the time. A then-released Bernardo Bertolucci film, Luna, also from Fox, had examined a mother-son relationship, but was neither a box office nor a critical success.
Well, yeah, I mean, nobody wants to see that.
No.
Yeah.
Like,
Look at how creepy it played off in Amityville 2.
Stepmom is different. Stepmom is different. You know.
that's going on the board.
Yeah, throw that up. That's classic.
Jesus Christ.
Anyways, Chad Daddy, what else we got, buddy?
Let's see.
Love you, Brody.
According to Barry Taft, the director Sidney J. Furie did not believe the real life story and just thought they were all a bunch of drugged out wackos.
Nice.
George Coe played Dr. Weber, and Alex Rocco, who played Jerry Anderson, both died on the same day, July 18th, 2015.
Damn. Well, That's quite down the lane, but still crazy that it was the same day.
Okay, you guys are going to kick it. A video game adaptation was developed by 20th Century Fox in '82 for the Atari 2600. Though it was never officially released, a playable prototype surfaced years later and is available online.
What is the
What is the premise of the game?
No, but I want to find
I'm
out.
looking right now. I'm looking.
That's like, why did they make Texas
I
Chainsaw
really
Massacre
hope
for
you're not
the
playing the
Atari?
demon, dude.
Yeah,
because
right?
I just don't need to be doing that kind of task.
Yo,
What are you
his
gonna, like-
his face tells the story. Tells the fucking story.
The
What
Atari
did you
26
find?
Do you play as the entity?
Fuck off,
Oh
dude.
no.
There's no way but there's no way like you're going around raping people in the games.
It's an action game.
action.
Okay, continuing on. In this movie, Barbara Hershey's character is pursued by an evil being. Eventually, she played a character who is the mother of a family man pursued by an evil being, Insidious, and Insidious Chapter 2.
Mm-hmm. I still need to watch those, dude. I don't know why I haven't.
They're actually fun. I actually think they're fun movies.
No, I've heard great review stuff on them. I just
Okay. By the way, so Gene brought this up earlier about Poltergeist, and I'll bring this up here. So Poltergeist came out the same year, and both movies are about evil spirits assaulting a family. Both movies, in fact, feature a scene where the young mother seems to be sexually assaulted by the evil force, although the entity spends the entire movie dwelling on that in lurid and violent detail, whereas Poltergeist just has one brief scene where that is inferred. Poltergeist also got glowing reviews and wonderful box office returns. Thank you. Thank you, Spielberg. Whereas Entity was a critical and commercial disappointment, in part because of heavy hitting competition that year from Poltergeist and E.T.
Okay, so
I would
the
have
video
loved
game.
to seen Poltergeist in fucking theaters, by the way.
Same.
Throw that out there.
So it says, despite the name, the game itself really doesn't resemble the movie The Entity at all.
Thank
In the game, your goal is to move the entity to the highest plane of existence before your energy runs out. How are you to accomplish this goal, you ask? An exorcism? One of those cool Ghostbuster proton packs? A virgin sacrifice? Nope. All you have at your disposal are walls. You just go through walls.
I still don't.
So it's like a Pac-Man clone, kind of?
You look, and the entity looks like one of those, what's that thing called? We literally just talked about it in, about Crawl. Crawl has the, what is it, a glaive? Is that what it's called? The entity looks like a fucking glaive that you just move up these little lines.
It's so weird.
Gene's comment, this show is so sexual, I'm going to quit.
He loves us. He won't quit. Continuing on, Barbara Hershey was cast in the role only 10 days before production was scheduled to begin. Hershey had hesitations about the part due to the nudity in the screenplay, but agreed to do it after director Sidney J. Fury assured her the nude sequences would be accomplished via body doubles and mannequins.
You know, you just had to put that topping up, didn't you?
Sorry, boys. And finally, the film would be among the final productions made by American Cinema Productions before it filed for bankruptcy in December 1981.
And that's why it actually came out in 82, but then it actually came out here in 83.
Oh, no shit. Nice. All righty. Anything else?
That's all I got. So let's hear the real life story from the Duke of the Deceased.
All right. So this is known as the Doris Bither case. This is a somewhat supernatural sidebar. So the Doris Bither case, also known as the Entity Haunting, happened in 1974. And there was an investigation into alleged paranormal phenomena in Culver City, California, experienced by Doris Bither. And of course, there's a book, and that's, the movie's based off of the book. So Doris Bither contacted parapsychologist Barry Taff in 1974 to relate alarming phenomenon that she experienced. At the time, Taft was working in the now defunct parapsychology lab run by Thelma Moss at the University of California in Los Angeles. So he took his assistant. They did a preliminary interview with Bithers on her paranormal case. The interview revealed that she had a history of physical and substance abuse along with a traumatic childhood. So there was substance abuse involved in the actual case. Investigators also found that her and her 4 children are living illegally in a condemned home that was in severe disrepair. She alleged that that she was attacked and raped by one or several invisible entities. There was also other manifestations that she said, which included luminous, transparent human shapes and poltergeist activities. So when the investigation continued, Taff and Gaynor, who was his assistant, visited the house for the first time on August 22nd in 1974. They did repeated visits over a 10-week period, but they did not look into the spectral rape allegations as the alleged violence preceded their involvement in the case. And Taft did not believe that they occurred. So he did not believe that these rape things occurred. So during the course of their visits, the investigators did note poltergeist activity. There was objects falling from shelves by themselves, strange lights, bad odors, cold zones in the house. The researchers indicated that those occurrences decreased over the course of the visits. They were joined in their visits by an acquaintance of Bithers who said she could communicate with spirits, as well as a large number of people related to the laboratory or to Taft and Gaynor in one way or another. But Taft and Gaynor are the only ones who offered descriptions for what occurred. So there was photographs of what appeared to be lights. Those are the only objective evidence gathered in the course of the visits. The images were taken by both Taft and Gaynor with an instant film Polaroid SX70 camera and a 35 millimeter camera. The investigators indicated that they encountered moving balls of light, but what the images show takes a different appearance: a static circular band of light, an irregular bright line, and shapeless overexposed areas. Taff and Gaynor brought an infrared camera, but accidentally overexposed the film, rendering it unusable, which sucks because a lot of times in infrared, you pick up shit you cannot see with your naked eye. And you know, the science back then, I mean, this is 74, so the technology back then isn't what we have today.
Fuck no, dude. And especially like they're really using film.
Yeah. So an analysis of the photographs attributed to the results of common photography mistakes, such as a thin object close to the camera or accidental manipulation of the exposure dial. In the case of the 35 millimeter pictures, mishaps in the development process may have yielded the results to what was shown. But even if those mistakes are discounted, none of the lighter areas of the photograph are consistent with the trail of moving light would leave on a photographic material. So even if you can discount everything else that they caught in those cameras, the one photo that had the moving light on it, they could not explain. So based on Bither's story, his own observations, and the photographs, Taft concluded paranormal phenomenon must have been involved, calling the case a haunting. So while they never verified that the rapes did occur, they did say that there was actual, poltergeist activity at that. So there was, and whether or not the sexual side of it occurred, a lot of it was kind of thrown to the side because she did have history of substance abuse. So immediately they're like, well, she could have been high when this happened. So they just kind of dismissed all that shit. So Bither died. She did die in 1999 here in Texas. Okay. I want to say she lived in Houston, Texas, I believe, when she died. So, yeah. So that's all I have.
Well, thank you for that, Scoops.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Very informative. Hell yeah. Dude, that's just I mean, acid's pretty fucked, dude, to where, like, if you do it enough, that shit can hit you down the road later in life. Not saying that kind of a situation, but
I've done it once and I'm still waiting for it to kick back in.
Right? I don't know actually how true that is. I've always just been told that story, but it's always the thing that's definitely kept me away from it, because I'm like, bro, I don't need to be in line at Arby's somewhere 20 years down the road. All of a sudden just be like,
with my luck, I'm going to be on a fucking investigation.
Oh, yeah, that'll really go over well.
Yeah. All of a sudden you just crack your back just a little too well, and all of a sudden, there it is. Alrighty. Anything else, gentlemen?
Nope.
All right, all the informative stuff out and about. Okay, on to les questions. All right, what format did you guys watch this on?
Hulu.
Stars.
Stars on Prime. You say Hulu?
It was on Hulu?
Was it Stars on Hulu?
No, Hulu.
Huh.
Are you sure?
I'm gonna have to check that because
Well, I mean, it just showed up on my Hulu. It didn't say by Stars, not on mine anyway.
I mean, that could make sense since I said, it's a Fox. It's a Disney film now.
Yeah,
so it
could say that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, did you see that Disney and is gonna straight up take over Hulu?
Yeah.
I was like,
What?
yeah, dude. Because was it Comcast, whatever? They're like pulling out of it, so Disney's gonna take over the whole fucking thing.
It's just going to all be Disney Plus, I'm sure.
Yep.
Well, I better fucking still get my letter Kenny on there.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
By the way,
See why not?
have you guys looked at Max since it changed over?
Yeah.
It hasn't really changed that much.
No, it hasn't.
I'm
at all.
surprised.
Oh, I
We got
saw,
our Godzilla back, bitch.
Yeah.
I saw the greatest meme. It said HBO went just to Max. Your move, Peacock. Or it said HBO Max went just to Max. Your move, Peacock.
See, I thought you were gonna go with it's weird to me, and maybe it's just weird to me because obviously growing up when we were kids, the two big movie channels, at least for me, were Cinemax and HBO.
Mine was HBO Showtime.
And now HBO has become Max. What the fuck, dude? Like this is just weird to me. Like this
My
is
dad
WWE,
always got us the
WWE.
movie channel instead. We got the movie channel.
The hell was that?
It was cheaper.
It was.
cheaper.
I had it.
Yeah.
It was like
Well-
HBO, but it was like lower tier.
I'm pretty
movies.
sure.
I had Encore. That was my thing.
I'm pretty sure our
Encore.
HBO and Cinemax was coming through as little black box. I can't be.
We used to get the little tubes from one of my dad's friends worked for the fucking cable company, and he would steal the little channel tubes, and we would just go fucking. Dude, we had like fucking 8 of them sticking out the wall with fucking every single fucking channel. We got them for free.
Fucking awesome, dude.
I've heard stories of so many people doing that. That's great.
Oh man. All right. Douche of the film. I'm gonna go with
The
George.
doctors.
Jerry.
I'm going with
Jerry, the boyfriend.
the room of doctors.
I'm
I'm going with Doctors, but I also want to say, I do want to say Snyderman in the latter half of the movie.
Okay.
Because
he was still trying to help her. He was just trying to help her.
he
in the
was,
way
but
that
he also-
thought was.
But he was
I
really
think
ready
he
to
also
just-
had a little bit of a thing for her too.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
Yeah, I thought he
He was
did.
trying
I
to
thought he
help her
did.
and help her.
I like I said, I'm picking the boyfriend because as soon as he saw this happen, he's like, "Nope, I don't care. I'm done. I'm out."
I mean, what would
He
you do?
pieced out way too. He'd been a little bit more supportive, for fuck's sake.
Bro, that dude is all right. First and foremost, she's
Way
like
too old.
35. That dude's 55.
Yes.
Easily.
Okay.
Maybe
Yes.
60.
So was
he got thrown across the which he didn't even bring up the dresser. I don't know why. Like that's a huge argument in the case of like, yeah, man, this shit literally happened. He brought up the titty stuff and he's like, but he didn't talk about getting bitch slapped against, you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck, dude, I would have.
That would have been the first thing I said.
Like, look at this fucking scar on my look at the right.
yeah, he's douching the me. By the way, so when she left that appointment with all the doctors, she said she had an appointment at the airport. Was that with him? Like she was, it showed her in bed with somebody. Was that him?
Yeah.
that was
Okay,
him.
so then
Yeah.
why did it when he came back later? Why did it seem like he'd been gone so long? It was almost like that scene never even happened. Did anybody else notice that?
I mean, I think it happened just to show us that Jerry was actually a real person and not just somebody that they were like continually talking about. And so they don't just introduce him in the very like act that he shows up and then literally was like, all right, and I'm out, which would have been way fucking funnier. Like in a comedy, this dude just shows up and like, hey, here's the loving, nurturing, supportive boyfriend. Oh, bitch, you got a demon? I'm out.
Yep.
Like, you know what I mean?
Played by Marlon Wayans.
Yes.
That has Wayans written all over it.
Fucking
Yeah.
A, dude.
All right, so actually, no,
No,
I would
man.
say the head doctor at the table. Never mind. The one who's at the end also, like, I saw something. I don't know what it is.
Can I say also that first scene with Jerry? I love how it was shot because you was just her on his furry chest. And you could see his nose. You could see like 2/3 of this motherfucker's face, dude. But you just
Yeah.
wouldn't give you that whole shot of this face. So
Yes.
the whole time I'm like, who's this Tom Selleck looking motherfucker,
Right.
dude? Like
They
I'm
just
trying,
all
like I
they
can
wanted to
see the
show was
brows.
his gorilla chest.
Yeah, you can kind of see the furrowing, like the furrowing brow a little bit, and I'm like, do I know this dude? Does he look kind of familiar?
That's why I said, like, was that
But
him?
you know why she was with an older man though, right?
He was supportive and nurturing and could take care of your
No.
ass.
Daddy issues.
Daddy issues.
Oh, well, that's
Yeah, which I think that's most. I'll leave that alone.
Some say daddy. Hey, man, who doesn't like being called?
She has
Pop?
daddy issues, and he told her he was just about ready to throw some burgers on the grill, champ.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's funny
Oh
is I
my
saw this
God.
stupid thing right before coming online. It was like this new party theme of dad parties. And I'm watching it and I'm like, not to age myself, but I'm pretty sure that's just my normal fucking parties at this fucking point. Like, it's
Wait,
not
where
really.
where'd you see that? Send me a link. I want to see that.
I'll send you the video after, but it's like people overly like dressing up with like tall socks and they got the New Balances. Dude.
Oh, dude, you gotta
like
send me that video.
oversized hats and shit. But I'm like, yeah, but I wear my oversized hat because it's always fucking sunny, dude. And like, I'll like
send
that's
that
how
video, please.
everybody's got fanny packs, and they're like, there's like the group seating or the group sit. They all sit down. They're all like, ugh. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is my normal fucking.
I feel attacked.
This is not a theme party. This is just being.
That's just a
old at
normal get
party.
together.
Yeah, right. Like, what the fuck? That's just dads in their 40s. Fuck off, dude.
Oh God, send me that. I gotta see that.
Yes, I want to see that too.
All right. Favorite. Oh, we can't do favorite
didn't do kill.
No, we can't even do kill, so you just gotta skip
No,
it.
we can't do what we said.
Nope.
No.
Best scene.
Yeah.
Best scene.
Best scene. You know what? I think, like I said before, best scene was the very first time they leave the house because everything's shaking and she goes back in and like the door's shaking. Like I said, because I've had legit nightmares where that happens. That to me was the best scene because that, you know, that spoke to me like, wow, I've had that happen in my dreams. It's a pretty scary moment.
I think maybe I don't know if it's controversial. I would think when the boyfriend sees what's happening to her, and he is now realizing, like, oh, there is something wrong here. And then like after the hospital, just like yeah. For me, even though it's really a fucked up scene, but it's really the scene that really goes, it's getting worse. We need to do something.
So it's kind of shitty to say, but I just because it was just so fucked up, and it to me it's the best scene is when she's in the bathroom getting you know assaulted, and not because she's getting assaulted, but it was acted I mean, she did great acting in that scene. You actually, I mean, you can visualize what is occurring between this entity and her, you know, and to me that was, dude. When are you the most vulnerable? How many times are you in the shower and you're trying to get the shampoo out your fucking eyes real quick because you don't, you know, even now I still do that shit. I'm taking a shower. I know there ain't nobody in my fucking bathroom, but as soon as shampoo gets in my eyes, you never know, somebody might be fucking standing on the other side of that shower curtain.
So you gotta get the super hot ass shower and you just let one rip, dude, and just gas chamber them out.
So I acting wise and you know, film wise and just terror wise, that was the best scene for me.
Best scene. Dude, I don't know. It's
that is a tough.
It's because like I want to say like I like the third act in this whole like setup house because that I was not expecting by any fucking means that was just a cool set and all that shit.
And I'm not sure how they thought to confuse the demon with that because it clearly did not work, not even for a second.
Because they don't know any better. They're just trying anything that they could potentially, you know what I mean?
It did know better though. Brody said the scene where she gets called a cunt. That was almost my pick.
Fair enough. Man, I almost want to say when the paranormal investigators like are there for the first time and they go through.
I was gonna go with
you
that.
know what that was very similar to the Poltergeist, by the way.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna go with. Like it just reminded me of like him going to get the different equipment and shit, and it's just
I mean, it's very close to fucking Insidious too. When they first,
Yeah, I gotta watch
they
Insidious,
grow up.
man.
I had-
You do.
I did not like the second half of it, so I don't know if I want to give it another
No.
chance.
It was just 3 of them now, or 4, right?
Yeah, there's three.
Three?
Fourth one's coming out, I think.
So, Gene, I gotta like tit scene isn't necessarily like my favorite scene,
There's 4 Insidious. I'm sorry.
but it's 4. But I would
5.
honestly almost say it might come up in the next question, which I think we're on right now. Right? Everybody got their scenes?
Mm-hmm.
Which would be best scene. And I might throw that in there only because
Oh,
of
no,
how-
we're on best scene. We're on worst scene now.
Oh, we already did.
Yeah, we did best scene because we skipped.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. I saw favorite. Yeah, sorry. All right. So I'll throw that honorable mention then, because just the technicality behind that, like, was cool as fuck.
Yeah,
for
it
sure.
was.
More so the first shot of that scene for me than the full body double.
Yeah, because like we said, the full body double looked a little stiff.
Yeah, it just took it away a little bit.
Yeah.
In that bush. All right.
Buckwheat.
Worst moment or scene.
I'm gonna go first because I'm gonna again bring up the scene where she hooked up with him at the airport because it was completely unnecessary, didn't need it, and it was confusing because, like I said, when he shows up again later, it's like that scene never even happened because he's talking to her like, and she's just all just opening up to him. Oh, she's like, I've been through so much, but in the scene before that where they're in the bed, laying in bed, she didn't want to open up about it. So it's just very confusing to me.
Yeah.
So that was a very irrelevant.
I mean,
scene.
I think it was, the fact that she was embarrassed as to what was occurring at first. And then when he did finally get back, she already had a little bit of help. So she was more open to actually talk about what it was that was going on.
Especially because, like, yo, man, this is me spitballing, but like her saying that maybe she's afraid to bring that up because maybe she feels like she'd come off as tainted or something like that.
And another thing about that scene was also, and just, doubles down on him being douche the film to me about it, was he was very douchey about all those people being in her house. It's not even his fucking house.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have definitely questioned, like, what's going on here?
Yeah, but he was like,
they're all here for the gangbang.
For worst scene for me, I would have to say the scene where the doctors are discussing, only because of just them literally taking everything that was said and saying, that's bullshit. It's this.
See, I don't know if that makes it the worst scene though, or a good scene, because like it invokes real emotion, dude. Like I got pissed off during that scene.
Right?
For me, I think of worst as in like, damn, you guys really just let her talk and just went after she left. Basically, I get it. Yes, I get why, but at the same time, it's like, give some credit, man. If the woman's not doing drugs or this, it's like, come on, man.
Now, granted, like they do seem like douchebags to us, but they are in their field trying.
Yeah, they were doing their jobs the way they thought was to do it best. They thought they legit wanted to help her in the way that they knew how.
Right.
I'm gonna say worst scene for me was seeing the entity entrapped in ice.
That was weird. What was that, Matt? Was that a Matt shot or something, or what the hell?
Looked like one.
Oh yeah, and it was a really bad one too.
Yeah, and then for it to break like an iceberg, and then for them to be like, "Oh, we got it," but it just broke. And then what were you gonna do? Were you gonna keep it frozen? Were you gonna keep it frozen? Like I didn't see the logic behind it. You were gonna freeze this thing, but then what were you gonna do with it after you had it frozen?
I don't even know if they knew they could contain it for long. It was just more of the fact that, like, if they could freeze it, they could see, at least be like, okay, we have proof that we were able to freeze it. It has some kind of solid state.
Okay, another thing about
it
that
did look
scene,
like shit though.
Another thing about that scene was when all the liquid helium tanks exploded, and it got like everywhere, clearly on them because they are drenched.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't they freeze?
Mm-hmm. I also kind of wondered that
because it wasn't pressurized.
Yeah,
anymore.
But that shouldn't have mattered. It wasn't pressurized in that jar when they froze the rose.
I don't fucking know.
Right? Yeah, that's
If
true.
nothing else, they should have gotten at least severe frostbite from it.
Burns or something from it, yeah.
That would suck. All right. I like them all, gentlemen. All right. Most attractive. Oh, I'm sorry. No. Did opening scene hook you in?
We didn't really.
Shit, dude, opening scene was the fucking credits.
So. Yeah, and then it went right into
a little bit of... It really didn't, because you really don't get any.
It was very abrupt.
Yeah,
very
it's
abrupt.
just her introduction.
Wait,
You get to see
look at-
her little backstory real
Look at what
quick.
Gene said.
I want a doctor from London. They say you're messed up and send you home with a hot nurse.
Yeah, no, murder.
Awoo.
Mm.
Oh,
Exactly, Brody.
yeah. And I'm sad, Brody, that we never got the sequel that we should have with the fucking crazy pastor.
Mm-hmm.
His
Ah.
doomsday
Yeah.
cult.
Really wish we got a sequel, man.
Yeah.
So much.
But
of this movie.
I think the problem with that sequel is, well, now how do we get it? Since it just unfroze. You know, that would be a tough one, I think.
I think you could easily do a sequel today where it's like that guy. Oh man. So like that dude has his blob and his like doomsday cult, right? But then the actual OG blob thaws because of fucking global warming.
Global warming.
So now we
yeah.
have like a blob on blob fight, but because dude, that'd be cool.
It would be cool.
I'm
but-
kind of wondering what they did with the blob at the end, because in the OG blob, they fucking froze it, shoved it in a crate, and dropped it in the fucking Antarctic.
They did.
Yeah, but isn't that what they did in the 80s one? I thought they like
No.
hovered over and
They never
jumped into
said.
the ocean.
No,
I
they
thought
brought
jumped
no,
into the ocean.
they didn't do it at all. What they did was the thing blew up and it froze it to crystals. The guy said, "Hey, bring in the dump truck. We got to get this thing to the ice house before dawn." So they were going to keep it in an ice house.
So they didn't drop it in the ocean? Am I thinking of the
No.
OG one?
You're thinking of OG, or you're thinking of the Son of Blob, which is like 1970 something.
Is
Which
that what I'm
is-
thinking of?
Has
Because I
to
swear to
be.
God, dude, I remember dropping a frozen chunk of something in the ocean. I thought, all right. Yeah, I remember Rob Zombie was gonna do a thing on the blob.
Yeah, it was his take was really weird.
It was. I like the art styles that he was using for it because it reminded me of like the old Mars Attacks cards.
See, I didn't see his art, so now I'm going to look it up real quick.
The thing,
The
I
artwork is
I
cool,
wouldn't mind
Very
seeing
weird.
that movie, but it shouldn't be a blob remake. It should be something else entirely.
Yeah,
Like,
just
don't
make
call
it
it
some weird
Blob.
sludge thing.
Yeah, don't call it the blob. Call it something else.
But all right. Man, I would totally even watch OG Blob for this podcast because that's kind of one that like I grew
great
up as
one.
a kid and I always kind of liked it. It
Me
even
too.
creeped me out as a kid, dude. That was one that scared me as a kid. The farmer scene right in the fucking beginning, man, when the old man gets it. It's fucking crazy. All right. Most attractive character. Oh, by the way, opening scene. for
Barbara
me?
Hershey.
No, but yes. Most attractive character, Barbara Hershey for sure, dude. She
Oh,
was,
she was
yeah.
hot.
She
yeah.
was.
Smoking hot.
And there was even a moment where I stopped and I was talking to the wife and I was like, man, something about like that early 80s just makeup where it's not a lot. It's usually just a little
Minimum.
blush,
Yep.
Just but just like
It was the 80s mom makeup.
Yeah.
yeah, but what is so just like about it, dude?
Mhm. You know, I'm gonna give it to a Barbara Hershey's tit double.
Fair. No, that's not a double, Steve. That's her. Damn it. I'm so sad that's not her.
I'm
Oh.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Not your fault. It's just your fault you told us.
I mean, it kind of is.
No, it's her fault.
I
All
thought
right,
it was
I'm gonna
her
ruin
until
one for
today.
him.
So
Right?
Now I'm really gonna have to bang Monica Cana and fucking send him clips.
You won't.
it was her birthday yesterday.
I know. I told her happy birthday on Instagram.
Oh, I should have. I didn't think about
Did
it.
you really? Nice.
I did.
Okay.
I'm still trying to get that.
So did the score set the mood?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
fuck yeah, I did.
Intense as fuck. All right. Did we have a best song?
I don't remember there
There was
being a song.
there was a song when the son was working on the car in the garage at the beginning, but I don't remember what it was.
Okay, so we're just gonna skip that one.
Yeah.
Favorite character.
I like the sun.
How old was he supposed to be? 17?
16
or
or
17,
17.
He
Yeah.
was in,
18,
he was in
yeah.
high school.
Because obviously
He
he
was a-
could
he was-
drive. So he was
He was a gearhead,
Yeah.
you know, working on the car and trying to help his mom.
You know, some the two
liked
the
him.
two parapsychologists,
I'm agreeing with Bobby, the parapsychologist.
because they were ready to help in any way they could, whether they believed it or not. They were still trying to help her.
It's
Mhm.
funny. I was not even just going to go with the both of them. I was just going to go more specifically the bald headed one, just because like that dude was like he just seemed like he didn't give a fuck. Like he was like
I
the
liked
dude-
I liked when he got in. The Hearst psychologist came in.
yeah, and he got into it with her.
Yeah, and then he
No,
calls the cop, and he's like, "You see that face? I don't want to see it ever again."
And that's
That
the
was
scene
awesome.
where why I really like that dude, because it's like, I don't know, man, because he's in he's in a field where obviously he already knows he's gonna get a lot of shit from the general public and obviously peers. We already got that earlier in the movie. So he's already got to deal with this shit while still like actually actively doing his job or what he wants, you know what I mean? Like to try to prove this shit.
Mhm.
And so it's just like that much more of a shit salad, I guess. So yeah, and I don't know why, but he also reminded me of like a weird B market version of was it Elliott Smith? My strong hand. What's his name? That dude. Do you guys know?
I don't know his name
from
offhand. No.
Scary Movie.
Yeah.
Scary Movie 2. Take my strong hand, which he never says that, but
No. But I just like for some reason I was
I
picturing
wanna
him
say
in
Chris
Groundhogs.
Elliott. Is that right, Chris Elliott?
I feel like it's
Chris
Chris
Elliott.
Elliott.
Yeah, it's Chris Elliott.
Is it? But yeah, like he
Yeah.
just seems like a poor man's version of Chris Elliott. I don't know why, like just from the side and everything like that. But he's definitely going my pick. All right. Was it scary?
I'm going to say
Honestly,
yes.
Parts of it, I could say yes.
Yeah.
especially in front of the scene in front of the kids, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That scene, I was even just like, "Jeez."
Like, how helpless would you feel?
Yeah, bro. Can't do shit.
And then you get unlimited power.
My thing that
Or
I said,
Mace Windu.
I was like, you know what? I'm like, I don't know how you want to take this, but the side, I guess the only positive is like it wasn't attacking the daughters.
Yeah.
And that was one thing I was always like, yo, man, did it ever attack the daughters in life? And it just never got brought up. Because like that would be fucked if that was the case. But glad we never went there. So does it hold up today?
Content wise, I think it does.
I want to say it's a solid movie, man, but I feel like it kind of needs to be a little bit reshot or something.
It needs to be reshot. It needs to be updated. There's a lot more equipment now that can be used for
Effect.
the actual investigations, the actual things that they could use to try to capture this entity on film to make people know that it really does exist. I think the premise of the movie holds up, but the
Absolutely.
technology does not.
You know what I think would have been, well, for today, if they were to remake it, I mean, this is also me because I also like to see things. I would like there to be a little scene of a hint of what maybe the entity would look like, not necessarily exactly.
No, we don't need that.
Nope.
No.
Here's why. Let me tell you why. Look at Paranormal Activity. Paranormal Activity. I loved all of them until the one where they showed the fucking ghost.
Yeah, but
Once
that
they
was
showed it, I was out.
that was also the shitty one, and that wasn't even the only reason that one was shitty. But that was Ghost Dimension. That one was just
Well, no,
I've
I
never
know,
seen
but
that.
that's what
It's the
took me
sixth
out of. That's what takes me out of most of these fucking movies. I want my imagination to create
All right,
what is
fair,
fucking with this
fair.
bro.
You know what's funny is I was actually just thinking about going down a Paranormal Activity fucking marathon the other
Rabbit
day.
hole. Fuck yeah.
I
I haven't
did.
seen past. I haven't seen past the fourth one.
So
Same.
honestly, dude,
The
if
marked
you
ones is
just
my favorite.
watched 1, 2, 3, and the marked ones, you can throw 4 out. It's okay, but it honestly still doesn't really have anything to do with it. But man, you watch those like
It does
one-
though, because the possessed
It-
Katie is her neighbor.
It does,
Eh.
but I'm telling you, dude, the 5th one does it way better than the 4th one. The 5th one does what the 4th one should have did, where it was this story that was like, how does this tie in? And then it ties in, and you're like, oh shit,
Oh,
dude.
that's
Like,
how it does.
yeah, like mind blown moments.
All right, so I got to watch that one. I have not watched it.
I do the 5th one is great, and because I feel like it was like a return to form, and it took you out of like the shit that you were conditioned to see the last 4 movies prior, which was good because dude, that far into the series, and now you're actually getting like decent. But then that did it so well, you go into the 6th one, and it was complete dog shit. So, and I didn't even watch Next to Kin, so I don't even know where that's.
That was trash.
Is it
fucking trash.
does it have anything to do with the actual any of the other shit or no?
Kind of, but not really.
Kind of no. Okay. What's everyone's favorite supernatural film?
This one.
I mean, dude, I do love the first Paranormal.
I got a
first
lot of love
Paranormal.
for Poltergeist. That's
Poltergeist is fantastic too, man. Oh, I don't know.
Super. Yeah, I would have to really think about.
Same.
Well, I do love.
Poltergeist 2. I'm going Poltergeist 2 because
Bro.
Poltergeist 2 scared the fuck out
That
of
old
me.
man was
see.
fucking
I just watched that again recently, and it gets kind of boring in parts.
It does, but the fucking what is it? The fucking worm when he throws up the tequila
Oh
worm.
Jesus.
Oh, yeah, that is pretty
The
good.
braces scene always scared the shit out of me
Yes.
too, man.
Yes.
Gene's right. The clown in the first one, man, that's
Yeah, that fucking
one of the scariest
thing.
scenes ever.
Ooh, the
The
Changeling
Changeling is a great movie.
I have not seen that.
I've also not seen that.
George C. Scott, an old classic movie.
See, if I want to see George C. Scott, I just want to see him getting hit in the groin with a football. My groin.
I'm trying to think of my favorite supernatural film.
Ooh, we Are Still Here is a great supernatural movie. I don't know if you guys saw
I
it.
thought you were looking at. I thought you were looking at the time.
That's what
and
I'm thinking.
saying,
Like, we are
man,
well
we're
past
still
the
here.
2-hour
I was
mark.
like, wow, we are.
We gotta
Yeah,
get
we
moving
are.
on.
Oh
You
no
know
no 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 the
Thank you
movie.
for-
Here, now I
Thank
got
you
it.
for bringing that up though, because we need to
No,
get
no,
back
it's this. Sorry, We Are Still Here. This is a good paranormal movie.
All right.
I don't think we reviewed it. Maybe I'll throw it in next year.
Okay. So acting, I thought was pretty
pretty good.
solid.
Yeah,
It was
Pretty
good. No, like I said, even the kids were good,
All right.
and that's rare.
yeah.
Cinematography though. This is one we've kind of talked to quite a bit on this episode. I feel
There
like
were some
parts of
cool
it
Yeah,
were
shots.
I liked it, but I
fantastic.
didn't love it. It wasn't a Cundy
Yeah,
film.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like I said, some of the shots were fucking great.
The
And then
keys-
other
the
shots
key
were
shot
just
was
like,
great.
bro, back the fuck up 2 feet. You'll be fine. Like, so, all right. Did we like the premise?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah,
100%.
Anything off of actual like investigation, I'm always for. Just that little bit of like, ooh, truth. Was the climax satisfying?
Not to me.
No, honestly, it wasn't.
The whole trying to freeze it with liquid helium, that is a completely Hollywood thing.
Yeah.
I like the idea of it, but we're getting into Ghostbusters territory there.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I think there could have definitely been a better way to like capture it, which I'm sure you could have if you really thought. But
I mean, did they really try that, or was that just straight up Hollywood ending for this bitch?
That's
Hollywood.
I think that was
all
straight up
Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Because I'm like, I was trying to think, I'm like, yo, man, what university is going to allow some fucking parapsychology unit to drop this kind of money to build a whole framed fucking house in the gymnasium, let alone take up cop detail?
Yep.
And then on top of that, this whole crazy crane rigging nitrogen fucking shooting system? No.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The fact that they even have a fucking thing at that university says enough as it is. But so that was our first no climax for Satisfied.
Not
All
just
right.
a no, but
Yeah.
it was a unanimous no.
no.
Yeah.
And it's just nah.
It was
This is-
new.
All right, recycle, rewind, remake, or reboot. I'm gonna remake this bitch, dude.
Rewind this, but yes, I want to remake.
I want to rewind it, but reboot it.
Hmm.
Barbara Hershey is still young enough to come back, have this thing start not just fucking with her, but now it's fucking with the girls.
I would like to, the sequel. I would like to see the sequel reboot. She's married. The girls are grown up. It moved on to the two girls, and then
Or one of the daughters.
and then it goes back to the mother. But now it's like, okay, so because now with today's technology of paranormal scoobs, it would really be interesting how they can really visualize that thing in infrared.
See, if I reboot it though, I don't want to reboot it in this day and age time. I want to reboot it and still have it take place in the 70s.
Or it rebooted and have it take place in the late 90s.
Oh my God, Gene!
It's
I like
Harvey
that.
Weinstein.
Damn.
Yes. All right. Chad, did you say yours, buddy? I think you...
I would say reboot it and like Scuba Steve said, set it in the 90s.
Okay.
Give us a little twist on that.
All righty. All right, boys, let's rate this bitch. Brody started us off high with a 4.5. Bob?
I'm gonna give it a 3.8. It's not quite a 4. It could use some little work. I'll give it a 3.8.
All righty. Scuba?
I'm giving it a 4.
Solid 4. Chad Daddy?
I was literally thinking the exact same thing as Bobby, so mark mine at 3.8 as well.
3.8. And let's see. Acting was solid. Script was solid. The shots bugged me a little bit, but it was a scary premise. And dude, the physical acting was fantastic. I don't know if I'd ever personally want to watch this one again, though, if I'm going to be honest. So I think I'm going to come in a little bit lower with a 3.2 for myself.
All right, fair enough.
So that equals bleh. We'll divide that bitch by 5. And that is a 3.86 for 1982.
So
3.9.
3.9.
Fair.
Excuse me.
Chad Daddy, what do we cover next week, homie?
Well, next week, we're kicking off summer by going to camp,
Ooh, girl.
but not Crystal Lake this time.
That's
We're going
where are we
to
going?
sleepaway camp.
Fuck
Oh,
yeah, dude. Really?
Here is your sleepaway camp survival kit.
Scuba Steve doing the face.
We're doing
Although,
sleepaway camp next week.
ironically enough, the next week after that is Friday the 13th, part 6.
we're just going to summer camp, baby. Woo!
I like it.
Okay, all I'm gonna
Alrighty.
say is this: I would love to get the 4 of us at a go-away sleepaway camp. Oh my god! Like,
That'd be awesome.
I think that the shit we would
What y'all
fucking
need to do, I need to get y'all to Texas. That way we can rent out the cabins at the gas station from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, fucking barbecue it up, and watch fucking horror movies all fucking
Dude,
night long.
there is no way that would not end in gay sex. Come on.
I mean, if
the
that
gay
does
game,
not
man.
happen, I swear to
I
God.
don't know if my girlfriend's still watching, so I wasn't gonna say, but yeah, that's the climax.
Literally.
That is the
Literally.
only logical. That is the only logical outcome of that trip.
I don't think Mel would even be that upset, honestly.
I don't-
No, she'd be like, "Let me film it."
That's
for
right.
a
I was gonna
weekend."
say, like, I feel like she'd be like, "Can I watch?" Like, so sleepaway
She'd be
camp.
directing.
Oh my god, sleepaway camp. You can find pretty much on fucking everything for free right now.
I
dude.
have the
Disney,
old.
Pluto,
I have the
Roku.
old box set. I'm proud.
You know what's funny? You guys are gonna go, "What the fuck?"
You've
I've
never
never
seen
seen Sleepaway Camp, dude.
The twist. The twist.
I know
What a
the,
twist.
I know the twist. The twist has
just-
been
it-
ruined
it
80,000
doesn't-
times over.
The ending does not hit as strongly when you already know the twist going into it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I
it's,
can't wait for Mel to watch it because she's never fucking
See-
seen it, and I know she's gonna be like, "What the fuck?" So I can't wait. That's my highlight
Let's
of
say,
this. 'cause
all I
I've
know
seen
is Robot Chicken ruined it for me, dude.
it. yeah.
Somebody wrote a script. Somebody remembered this movie and wrote a script about it or a skit about it.
That was really old Robot Chicken.
That was
too.
literally fucking first season, dude.
Mhm.
Probably like a couple first episodes. Robot Chicken.
I went on a sleepaway camp fucking watch party after I saw the first one, and I was not disappointed. Even the other ones they're not great, but they're fun watches.
I do love the first. I love all 3 of them.
2 and 3 go together more together, right?
Yeah, because it's a different actress playing Angela.
She's a counselor at that point, right?
Springsteen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bruce Springsteen's sister.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
Nice. Awesome. All right, so look forward to that, everybody. Sleepaway Camp next week. That'll be fucking fun. I got nothing nerdy today.
Same.
And we're already over 2 hours anyways.
Yeah.
I'll save
got
mine
nothing.
for next. It's nothing big anyway.
Fuck yeah, dude. All right, boys, we're going to wrap this shit up. Bob, you want to start us off?
This is your Killing Machine Bobby Amone saying, see you next week at Sleepaway Camp. Make sure you bring your supplies.
This is your host with the ghost, the prince of the paranormal, the duke of the dead, the dean of the deceased, the sinister minister, the ghost daddy,
Ooh.
the all content entertainment heavyweight champion, Lord Scubacabra saying, "Let's go to camp, bitch."
This is your Dark Lord of Knowledge, your Chad Daddy, with far less adjectives than Scuba Steve saying, "Come back next week, bitches."
And this is your Fluff Master Supreme, Big Johnny D, saying thank you once again, Gorehounds, for enjoying and joining in for another awesome episode. It was 1982's The Entity next week. Once again, join us for camp. And remember, last but not least, stay fresh, cheese bags.
Sleepaway Camp.